Lost is over, but we have to go back down the hatch. It's the Lost Rewatch podcast here on Post Show Recaps, marking the 10-year anniversary of the end of the series finale of Lost 10 years ago today, as this podcast is being released. 2 days out from being 10 years, as this podcast is being recorded in front of a live audience. I think this is the first time we are doing a live Down the Hatch. Of course, I am not alone, but my name is Josh, and I am joined here by my friend named Mike Bloom. Mike Bloom, live Lost Down the Hatch. What about that? How about that?
Yeah, it feels simultaneously comforting and yet anxious to know that, like, we're not just talking with each other, that we have an immediate sounding board to the stupid things we're going to say.
Oh, God. And so many dumb things are about to come out of our mouths, and we've got a chat room.
Like this.
Yeah. Woo! These are dumb things that are coming out of our mouths. We are streaming on my Twitch page, twitch.tv/roundhoward. We gave the warning, and I do believe warning is the appropriate word, that we were going to be doing something very post-show recap-y, RHAP-ish, down the hatchy as our way of celebrating.
Ooh, down the hatchy sounds very, I don't know, exotic.
Down the hatchy to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the end, the series finale, if you can believe it. That was May 23rd, 2010.
Oh my God.
Time flies, dude. Like, I mean, I know it maybe doesn't feel that way these days, but just like generally, can you believe that it was a full freaking decade since Lost was last on the air?
Yeah, I mean, not to spoil things too much, but Josh and I have had an opportunity to already pontificate about where we were 10 years ago when it came to the Lost series finale. But yeah, an entire decade has passed. So much has happened. I went from a skinny, man-hoary college boy to a married man with one child. And so, like, this is essentially the decade Lost challenge. You know, like, take a look at where you were watching the Lost finale and where you're watching the Lost finale in 2020. And you see how much the world has changed, how much the pop culture space has changed as well, and looking back in the finale. And that's another thing, you know, obviously we are celebrating the finale in a myriad of ways. One of them is, as announced on one of our previous podcasts this week, getting to watch the end and talk about it about a year and a half before we would talk about it in real time on Down the Hatch. And this is another one, just a great way to celebrate. But look, I know that we're in the middle of season 2 right now, but this is an important milestone for the series, and so we could not let that pass us by.
Yeah, I think that's the exact ticket. Like, we're in a really, like, we are in the middle of an arc right now on Down the Hatch.
Mm-hmm.
He's not Ben Linus yet, but he has been outed as not Henry Gale. And we are now going to be, I think, 3 more episodes of Ben in the custody of Jack and Locke and everybody. And this is like a really tense time in season 2. We're in the final rush now, or pretty damn close to it. But
I think like final 5 or 6 episodes, I think.
Yeah, I think we're like the last like 6 or 7, something like that. Because we've got Dave, we've got SOS, and we've got 2 for the road. Then
I think we're on 8. We're on 18 out of 24 if you count the parts 1 and 2 as 2 separate episodes.
So we're really in it right now, and we don't want to ruin that momentum. So obviously we're not skipping a week. But we are going to add this. We're going to add this podcast to your ears, dropping Saturday morning.
We're going to add this podcast to your ears.
Yes, we're going to take your ears. We are going to put this podcast in physical tablet form and just insert it in there and do terrible things to your brain.
I mean, you say that now, but when we come back to the Lost finale in 2030, that's going to be like the way people literally digest audio.
I love how optimistic you are that we are going to be in a position to be talking about
Lost. Or maybe our
cyber
ancestors or future children will be able to listen
in the simulation. But we're gonna give you this podcast on a Saturday morning is when this is dropping. We're recording this a couple days early for anyone who is interested in being here. And the way that we're going to do this, because look, other podcasts are going to do like the real, like, deep, reflective, what did the finale mean to me podcast. There's going to be podcasts that are going to be interviewing a bunch of people in the Lost space, not Lost in space, although that'd be interesting.
An interview. I don't know. I guess who do you interview? The old cast? Do you interview like the Matt LeBlanc, Gary Oldman 90s film, or do you interview the new, very dark Netflix version?
I guess if you have that Netflix money fueling you, then I think you do the Netflix cast.
Grab Parker posing the oddly human-like robot.
But Mike and I are very dumb people. We're very stupid. Although a lot has changed in a decade, that much hasn't. We're still children at heart. We are both people who love our island dramas, whether scripted or unscripted.
Our stories.
We are fans of the island drama, and we. There is something that we do here in the podcast community of the post-show recaps, and Rob has a podcast extended family. They feel like we will probably be the only ongoing Lost podcast to mark the 10-year anniversary of the end in the fashion that we have chosen to mark it. And Mike, why don't you start the process of speaking to what it is we are going to be doing here today?
So suffice it to say, it's a Brant Steele.
Okay, so it's obviously a Brant Steele. And what is a Brant Steele on the off chance that you're just like a scripted podcast person? You like post show recaps. You listen to Down the Hatch. You listen to Down the Hatch, but you don't listen to the Survivor coverage. You have no idea what Survivor is really. You don't know what a Brant Steele is.
So
what is this?
So in case you missed, I mean, this is actually our second Lost Brant Steele that we've done.
And our second Brant Steele of the week, I should add, because we did this on the Everything is Super podcast on post-show recaps. We did a Survivor Marvel Cinematic Universe style Earth's Mightiest Heroes versus Villains.
Very fun time. Don't want to spoil it, but it involves some personal stakes for one of the people hosting, which was a nice little new factor to add. So Brant Steele, for those of you that might not remember, is a website that hosts simulations of a reality television show, specifically Survivor, Big Brother, maybe some miscellaneous ones. And essentially you can plug in any cast that you want, any season you want, and it will run things through the simulation. It's essentially watching a fan fiction unfold in real time. And we have sort of been able to gamify a podcast version where we essentially have to be the ones to fill in the blanks as to why certain things happened, as determined by something completely out of our hands. So we have done this, as Josh said before, with Lost near the end of our season 1 coverage. We went with Rob Cesternino and played with the characters from the first season of Lost in a major capacity.
So it would make sense then, since we're in the middle of season 2, right? Like we would just be playing a Lost Survivor simulation with just the characters who are available to us from season 2.
Down the Hatch and Make Sense do not belong in the same sentence, Josh. We've gone off the beaten path, and then some other post-show recaps ones that we did. Josh and I did a Stranger Things one at the end of season 3. I did a Star Trek one with Rob and Jessica Leese as well. So like this is pumping through my blood at this point, to the point where Brent Steele will determine a Survivor-based tattoo that is going to be making on its way onto my body at some point when things are safe.
You
outside.
and Brent are really close.
We're tight as steel.
Yeah,
that's not a phrase. Yeah. I don't think steel's naturally tight.
Thick as steel.
Solid as steel.
Solid as steel.
Solid as a steel.
Solid as steel. What are you drinking, by the way? I see that you have some kind of beverage.
This is by antioxidant tea lemonade.
Yeah,
that's what I live by.
I often have a lot of questions for you about your beverages of choice.
I do have my sweet milk as well.
Your sweet milk as well. Okay. All right. So we're going to do another Brant Steele. We're going to do a Survivor simulation involving Lost. I guess it's not going to be season 2 characters. So if we're marking the end, if we're marking the 10-year anniversary of the series finale of Lost, then what are we just doing characters that are still alive? And of course, this is a Lost spoiler podcast. Spoilers. Well, if you haven't seen Lost, there's lots of spoilers. All spoilers are totally eligible from Lost here. So just be warned.
I'm very glad you said spoilers, Josh, because the contestants that will be playing in this particular Brant Steele are chock full of spoilers. You know, the endings of Lost are often said to be the best part of the episode. They hook you in as to, okay, I gotta find out what happens next week. You're like John Locke after watching the orientation video. We're going to have to watch that again. So we figured, since those are occasionally the most epic parts of some Lost episodes, in honor of the end, let's have 20 endings of Lost episodes play in Survivor against each other.
So welcome to the end of Extinction. This is Survivor, the end of Extinction, and competing.
And it makes so much sense considering your own little movements that you've been having over the past year or so.
I don't know why you're talking about my bathroom behavior as if I'm Paolo. But this is the end of Extinction, 10 endings of Lost episodes competing against 10 other endings of Lost episodes. And the reactions to this in the live chat.
That's why I love the immediate reaction to being like, okay, let's see how what's the barometer for stupidity, and it is like tipping off the charts.
We have, oh wow, oh boy, excuse me, wait, what? Oh my, LMFA, oh.
When someone asks how your quarantines have been, just send them this video.
So that's what's going on. Now, look, there are, I believe, the exact figure on how many episodes of Lost there are, because we've ranked episodes of Lost before. We are doing the ongoing ranking process. 121 episodes is the figure that Lost gives based on like a production number. For
we're like a third of the way through that on Down the Hatch. That's pretty crazy.
But that's like combining combining multi-part episodes, like multi-part premieres, multi-part finales, all of that stuff. So that it's 121. So how the hell are we going to distill 121 endings of riveting television down to 20 competitors just on our own? That would have required its own podcast to begin the selection process.
And a lot of disgruntled listenership as well.
So don't get mad at us, because this is how we did it. So we took the Google machine for a spin, created a random number. We used a random number generator. A random number generator presented to us by Google. This podcast not sponsored by anyone. No one would sponsor this episode.
Please, no.
We tried.
In fact, we have to pay the brands for them to get mentioned on this podcast.
Yeah, the Brants, you mean. The Brant family. Yes.
Oh, yes, the Brant Steels.
Yes, and the Steels. We used a random number generator and put in from 1 to 120. And if it was, if the number came out, whatever that corresponded to as far as the episode, that episode is in competition. So there are some dynamite blockbuster endings.
Oh, don't say here. Dynamite. One of our episodes might involve dynamite.
So there's some episodes in here that are like, of course, that makes a lot of sense. But then there are some real surprises, right?
Yeah,
like
a lot of wild cards, because here's the thing. While Lost endings are usually remembered as like big WTF cliffhangers, more often than not, there are also like the occasional like, okay, endings. And then there are also some endings that are downright confusing or weird. So much like a true Survivor season, especially from a returning perspective with its casting, we have really run the gamut here. But that being said, I do feel like we have covered a good amount of bases, and you will see with some pretty legendary endings and legendary episodes combined with what will truly be some dark horses in this competition.
Yeah.
One quite literally.
Okay, so there are many episodes in here that we are thrilled to see represented. There are many episodes that we are very disappointed that are not being represented here. For instance, sad to say, Walkabout, which, if we were just doing like a traditional ranking of the endings of Lost, you would think that Walkabout would be a no-brainer.
No,
Walkabout's not even here. Walkabout didn't get the call. Is not going to Samoa this year.
Not this year, no. And that's the other thing, is that however the hell this goes, maybe this opens the door for other opportunities, because that's the thing as well. We didn't want to, proverbially shoot our wad by putting out like 20 top tier endings. We gotta mix it up somehow. There are 121 of these sons of bitches.
Yes.
Walkabout is not there. Actually, an episode that we talked about last week that people have touted as an all-time ending.
The whole tooth.
The milk is gone.
The milk has been spilled. It's not a part of this. So these were randomly selected. And given that these were randomly selected, there are some really exciting picks. And here's how I want to tell you who's in the competition.
Through song.
We got that. No, I can't do it. I'm going to tell you who's competing here, not by tribe. I'm going to reveal who's competing here based on how the numbers were generated. Using the number generator, because I actually think it's a bit of a journey.
There's a story as to how this show
at least like the start of it was a journey.
Right.
So the first number that got spun was 120. So 121 episodes of Lost. The end is represented by 120 and 121. So by virtue of part 1 of the end getting selected first, the end, the episode that we are here to celebrate, is not just going to be part of this cast. It's the first person that Brant Steele called up to compete in Survivor: The End of Extinction.
It would be a bit of a polar bear in the room, right? If it was not competing on the season, and we were celebrating the 10-year anniversary of an episode that is not featured in our Survivor season. So thankfully, the Lost Gods and the Survivor Gods are working together on this one.
Yeah, so I guess technically that means it's like the first half of the end is what's represented.
Yeah, we're sort of, for the sake when it comes to like multi-part episodes, namely the pilot and finales, we're sort of lumping them all into one because we don't want to take like a mid-act break.
Yeah, we can't do the end part 1. I mean, I guess we probably could have because this is so stupid. But we just chose to combine the multi-parters. So the end, of course, everybody knows the ending of the end. It's the end of Lost.
That everybody loved so much.
Again, we gotta warn you. We are going full tilt spoilers. We are going to describe Lost in vivid detail. That is not a surprise to people who just listen to Down the Hatch regularly, but it may be a surprise to people who are just showing up here and maybe someday intend to watch Lost. You're going to get spoiled. It's going to get spoiled for you. And it's about to get spoiled for you right now, so navigate away. Of course, the ending of Lost, we're talking about everyone's in the church. They're all dead. They weren't dead the whole time, but this sideways universe is like an afterlife of sorts. And Jack is with Vincent, and he's dying with Vincent in the jungle. And all of that massive blob of story is the first contestant in Survivor: The End of Extinction, Mike.
I think it makes sense. This is not only one of the most memorable endings, for bad or for good, in Lost history, but in television history as well. Maybe looking back on it 10 years later, given some other recent contentious finales, you might look upon it with warmer eyes. This is sort of like one of the bigger names, but also one of the more grizzled veterans. So I'm very excited to see what the end. I feel like this would not be a season of endings without the end, to start it off at least.
All right. So the second player drafted into the End of Extinction via random number generator, the number that came up was 72. And 72 is specifically part 2 of the season 3 finale, Through the Looking Glass. The iconic "we have to go back" moment.
Wow. Yeah, this is
the second player here in The End of Extinction.
Once upon a time, voted by yourself, myself, Antonio Mazzaro, and AJ Mass as the greatest episode of Lost of all time. One of the most infamous moments and gifable moments in the show's history. This is another one that I feel like had to make it, so I'm happy the numbers ended up falling the way that they did.
Absolutely. So here is number 3. This was the third one that was selected. The third number that the random number generator coughed up for Survivor: The End of Extinction. Number 1, the pilot. The pilot is here.
We are in heaven right now because we get the end of the pilot.
This
we got
is
the
good.
End of Omega. It's amazing.
So we're off to a good start here, right? We've got 3 heavy hitters right off the bat. I guess it was part 1 of the pilot, which is a little bit, which is literally the pilot is in the trees. Is all pouring out for
Greg Grunberg.
Yeah, Greg Grunberg has been chewed up by the monster and spat out in the trees. But we're just considering it the entire season premiere, series premiere. So the pilot is player number 3 on the board for The End of Extinction. And then we get into a few more episodes that are, it's like, okay, all right.
So our luck's like we hit a really hot streak starting off. It only makes sense that it taper off a bit, especially as we get to a magical Lost number of 4.
Okay, so number 4, we did not pull one of the Lost numbers for number 4. We pulled 2 of the Lost numbers for number 4. 88 was the number that we pulled for number 4 on the random number generator, and that would be season 5, episode 2. The Lie. And this is the episode where Hurley and Saeed are on the run at some point in the future, and Hurley throws a hot pocket at Ben. And specifically, the ending of this episode is the reveal of the lamppost station.
Yeah,
and Ben Linus is working with Eloise Hawking to get everybody.
And it's not that Eloise Hawking's name, because she still shows up in like flashes before your eyes, but it finds out that like she has a larger capacity here, and she reminds him that everyone needs to be there, or God help us all.
There's no world in which the ending of The Lie is the best ending of Lost, except potentially for this one if The Lie wins the end of Extinction.
Yeah, that we have to declare it the best ever ending of Lost.
The best ending in Lost history. If it was just the Hot Pocket, if that's what we were grading, then I'd be pretty pumped. But the lamppost thing it's whatever. It's whatever. So the lamppost is in here. I'll also say, spoiler alert, that is the only episode from season 5.
Your heart, Josh. Your heart must feel like it ate its own Hot Pocket, just like not very warm.
I love season 5 of Lost, and The Lie is the only representative of season 5 of Lost. It's the only one that has this little representation. Every other season has at least, I think I have the numbers down somewhere. Yeah, the second, there's one that only has 2, but season 5 only has 1. So this is it. This is the lone representative of season 5. So if season 5 is your favorite episode, you got your favorite season, you got to pin all your hopes on the end of The Lie. The 5th one up, the 5th competitor on the board. You said it must hurt my heart, Mike Bloom. It was a good tease for what the random number generator summoned for Down the Hatches, Survivor, the End of Extinction. The number was 13, so that's a season 1 episode. And number 13 is Hearts and Minds.
Oh, the old Boone. Come follow me into the jungle after I drugged you.
So in Hearts and Minds, John Locke has drugged Boone, and Boone is freaking out, and he's running around, and then he thinks he sees Shannon dying, and he tries to attack Locke. He's like, Locke. And Locke's like, oh, why are you doing it? And then Shannon and Saeed are over there, and he's like, oh, I feel relieved. And Locke's like, nah, come with me into the jungle. And that's the ending of that one. That might be the best ending of any episode of Lost, Mike.
Well, we do have some notorious Shannon defenders out there, so maybe it is by proxy.
We love Shannon on this podcast.
Yeah, though I think also we talked about the pilot ending, which is very focused on Shannon as well, considering the French skills she possesses.
All right, so if you think that that's the worst ending on the board, well, let's see how you feel about option 6. The 6th player on the board, the random number generator coughed up 111. So we're in season 6, and we're like kind of early-ish season 6, and it's the episode that introduces Zoe. Do you remember?
Oh, our favorite Tina Fey impersonator.
Do you remember Zoe? Charles Widmore's Lieutenant Zoe. Recon. The Sawyer flash forward.
Yeah, Recon. The Sawyer the cop. Actually, very appropriate to Survivor, because I believe he literally says, like, I had a choice to become a cop or a criminal, and I chose a cop.
Does anyone remember how Recon ended?
Oh, we'll tell you.
Really, right?
Sawyer tells Kate the shocking news that he's gonna take the sub.
Yeah, we're not gonna take the plane. We're gonna take the sub. So he was very hungry for a sandwich, it would appear, and so he's gonna take the sub. And I love that the ending is so Sawyer has spent the entire episode on Hydra Island, staking it out on behalf of not John Locke, on behalf of the
I think Widmore tries to make a deal with him of like rat out where John Locke is,
so he makes the deal jump on him. Yeah, he makes the deal with Widmore in turn, and then he comes back and he's like, I'm just gonna let the two of them duke it out. I'm gonna let them fight each other, Kate. That's the plan. And Kate's like, well, how are we going to fly off the island, though? How are you going to take the plane and fly off the island? And he's going to say, well, we're going to use the submarine. We're not going to. As if, like, that's the fix? Who knows how to use the submarine?
Well, put a pin in that, because we will get to the submarine in one of our future cast members.
Okay, so contestant number 7. We're getting back on track, but we're still hanging out with Sawyer. The ending of Confidence Man has been selected. This is number 8 is what the random number generator coughed up. So it's number 8, one of the lost numbers. Confidence Man is going to be playing this game of Survivor, the End of Extinction, up against Recon. It's Sawyer v. Sawyer.
Yeah, and there's back in the early days when Lost was still doing these big musical montages. Never Walk Alone, as Saeed decides to exile himself briefly for what he did to Sawyer. So there's that beautiful shot of him, walking away as the helicopter follows his trail.
Yeah, so the ending of Confidence Man is that's like, and you shall not walk alone, which we'll have to sing when Confidence Man is inevitably blindsided after, or probably draws a rock. Something like that is going to happen to Confidence Man. All right, selection number 8, the random number generator generated 47. And 47 pertains to season 2. But it's an episode that we have not yet discussed.
We're close, though.
We're close. It is the end of 3 minutes.
Boat!
This is the Michael Dawson flashback. It is the return of Desmond David Hume. Desmond returns. It's his boat. Yeah. We don't see Desmond himself.
I was going to say, not him in human form, but at least him in the boat form. This is when they're performing the funeral for Anna Lucia and Libby, and Sun decides to interrupt the festivities by bringing up that a boat's there.
Yeah, so Desmond's boat is the representative for 3 minutes. Desmond's boat is potentially the best ending in the history of Lost, depending on how this Brant Steele shakes out. And I have to break the news now because I don't want to stretch out the suspense. The random number generator failed us. The constant is not in this simulation.
Yeah, unfortunately, not a lot of Desmond representation. Like we talked about through the looking glass.
This is the Desmond representation.
Yeah, so apologies, but this means, again, maybe this and Walkabout will sort of be our big names, hopefully going to season 2 of Lost, the end of Extinction. But yeah, unfortunately, they did not make the number cut
I see people getting mad at me for this. I am not the random number generator, Beach and Brunette. I am not the random number generator. I just pushed the button. And I pushed the button, and I did what the numbers told me to do. And the numbers selected 3 minutes and selected Desmond's boat. And had absolutely nothing to do with like what's in my heart. Is just what we typed is what happened there. Speaking of boats, how about an exploding boat? Contestant number 9. We drew the number 84, and this episode had 3 shots to get on because it's a 3-part episode. So here it is. There's No Place Like Home. The season 4 finale is coming to play Survivor.
I'm thrilled. As somebody who is a notorious season 4 lover, I always loved the way that concluded. Kimi never-ending attempts to not die. The appearance of the frozen donkey whale, Sawyer's heroic jump out of the helicopter, the Kahana blowing up thanks to Mike, or I guess in spite of Michael for a certain portion of time, and the rescue of the Oceanic Six. To watch it all sort of come together after media res and flash forward sort of had us get up to that certain point was a big thrill to watch. So I'm very happy that this is here in some sort of way, shape, or form, considering that, it's a huge finale.
If we landed on 84, 85, or 86, we were bringing There's No Place Like Home here. So, 3 out of 121. Better, about the best odds as you can get, other than one other episode that we'll talk about potentially in a little while. Contestant number 10 was number 79. The random number generator coughed up 79. And 79 was an episode that is near and dear to Mike Bloom's heart. So Mike must be thrilled. It is season 4, episode 7, Gian. And this is the Jin's not in the future. Jin's dead.
Yeah, I believe the only episode that has simultaneous flashbacks and flash forwards, unless you count like the season 5, traveling through time stuff.
I don't count that.
That the big twist as to Sun and Jin are not in the same time frame right now. I love the Kwans to death, and I feel like that was a really well done twist. I'm excited to revisit it, and I'm excited for it to make its way through. We needed some Kwan representation here for me to be truly happy, so I'm happy for it to sort of, though we have some other Kwan stuff going on in some of these other contestants.
We have some other Kwan stuff going on, but this is the only Kwan episode on the board so far, and spoiler alert, it's the only Kwan episode we get. So here we go. That's your Kwan episode. We've got Gian on the board. Number 11 coughed up, the random number generator coughed up another lost number. 42 showed up on the board, and 42, very topical to Down the Hatch, because Mike, we just talked about this one. Lockdown. Come on down. Season 2, episode 17. Lockdown is the 11th contestant here in Survivor. the end of Extinction.
Now, I'll have to ask you, number 42, can you show some ID to make sure that you are the right person? Otherwise, one won't be sure. Maybe a driver's license?
Yeah, so the driver's license of the late Henry Gale, the actual Henry Gale from Minnesota, is competing on Survivor at the end of Extinction.
I mean, it's a great ending. I know that the whole truth is the one that gets, I think, a lot of the acclaim, but
it's a great ending.
We just praised not only Lockdown as an episode, but that ending as well. So I'm happy that we're going to have an opportunity to watch something that we just talked about play in a Survivor season.
Yes. David Drum in the chat room says, "What am I watching?" Great question.
Great question.
It's a great question. It's a great question. It's a great question. You're watching the first ever live episode of Lost Down the Hatch, a Survivor simulation that's about to occur as 20 endings of Lost episodes compete against each other for the title of Sole Survivor.
Yeah.
And best ending of Lost. And it will be declarative, right? It's definitive. Yep. Yeah.
So luckily we can all tweet Damon and Carlton after this by being like, I can't believe that Gion was the best ending Lost ever had.
Minds. Oh my God. We really need to
Who would have thought that chestnut?
We need to reevaluate. All right. Contestant number 12, the random number generator. It generated another number that had a 3 out of 121 shot of making it onto the cast. And this is an episode that Mike and I both say is potentially the best episode of Lost, potentially our favorite episode of Lost ever. It's Exodus. It's the season 1 finale. The season 1 finale is on the board. The season 1 finale is competing.
There's going to be a lot of rooting interest from my perspective, but that has to be one. I've gone on and on about how it's one of my favorite episodes of television in general. So much damn good stuff to wrap up an excellent season of Lost. So I'm very excited. I'm excited to see our 3-part finales going against each other. Yes. And also, spoiler alert, I believe those are all the finales that are being covered. It's the Live Together, Die Alone, and The Incident, unfortunately, both left off the cast list here.
The seasons 2 and 5 finales were snubbed epically by the casting department. The random number generator should be fired and blacklisted from Hollywood moving forward.
I mean, listen, I'm fine because these are my 4 favorite season closers, to be completely honest. So I'm not quibbling too much.
I think I probably agree with that. I think I agree with that ultimately. So maybe, I don't know. The Incident's an incredible episode.
The Incident,
they're all great. All the finales, it would have been fun to have them all. But 4 out of 6 with a random number generator, the odds were in its favor because they were multi-parters, but still, really, really, really great. The next episode that we have is another great episode. Sure, we don't have Walkabout, right? Sadly, we don't have Deus Ex Machina either, but we do have Lockdown, so we have a John Locke episode there. We've got another John Locke episode here. Contestant number 13, the random number generator, selected the number 68. And that's a really, very close to nice. And that is a terrific episode. Season 3, episode 19, The Brig. John Locke has just convinced Sawyer to kill Tony Coops. Anthony Cooper is dead, and he is in a sack, and he's on Johnny Locke's back. And that's the ending of The Brig, and The Brig is here to play.
Yeah, this was a pretty big ending.
The Brig is here to kill.
And I was, talking with Josh about this offline. I had always forgotten because the Brig flows so nicely into the man behind the curtain as to whether the ending was him carrying off the bag or him going into the other's camp with the bag. Yeah. It is the former, but I'm sure we're going to talk about it, as I'm sure we'll talk about the end of Anthony Cooper and Sawyer finally getting his much sought after revenge after all these years.
All right. So number 15, a lost number in terms of its selection. Did it do us lovely or did it do us dirty? I would say, even if it's maybe not an episode that would rank high for most people as far as like a top 20 episode of Lost, I don't even think that this would necessarily be a top 20 ending of Lost in my book, but it's a good ending, and it's got some fun characters driving it, and so they will be the drivers of this character in the Brant Steele simulation. And that would be the number 75 was selected by the random number generator. And that's season 4, episode 3, The Economist, a flash forward, a Saeed Jarrah flash forward. You find out that Saeed is one of the Oceanic Six. And not only that, he is an international assassin working for Benjamin Linus, who is also somehow off the island in the future. So this is a Saeed Ben combo platter that is competing in the 15th spot.
And this is also, I believe, our last season 4 episode as well, finishing those off. But yeah, I mean, I think
that's right.
If we're looking for an episode that's going to fill that Pia from Australian Survivor model of being the silent assassin, I can imagine it's probably most likely The Economist by nature, right?
It's probably The Economist by nature. Now I'm realizing that I jumped over a contestant.
Ooh,
I missed one, and that would be number 14. And maybe it's because this is probably, I think, the weakest ending of all of them. Season number 14, it coughed up 108. That was the number 108. That's great, and it's a very important mythical episode of Lost. It's season 6. It's season 6, episode 5, The Economist. Not The Economist. Sorry, Lighthouse. Big
episode. The episode in general, that's where they go to the lighthouse. That's where they find the names. We look, oh my God, it's Jack's childhood home. What the hell is going on?
He's got the kid from 13 Reasons Why is his son in this other world. What's going on?
Yeah, and Dogen is a music teacher.
He loves music. What's going on? His kid's so good at piano. The ending of this one sucks. The ending of this one is like squirrel baby mama Claire with Jin in her like secret little hut. She's already like killed the guy. You know she's crazy. And we already know that John Locke is the smoke monster at this point. And then he walks in and it's supposed to be a big reveal. And that's it. It's like, hey, this is my friend. Yeah, that's the ending of the episode. It's a bad ending of an episode.
Yeah, it's not a great ending.
This is definitely the one that for me, like, you have no right to be here. That's how I feel about Lighthouse on this cast. Lighthouse is the one that I have an active rooting interest against. I feel like Lighthouse has absolutely no reason to be here.
The Sierra Dawn Lighthouse.
Yeah, maybe if this was like a last minute.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe the package got like a concussion right before this, and Lighthouse had to take over.
Yeah, fan favorite game changer Lighthouse is Palindromos in chat room. Man, alive down the hatch. This is lit. All right, number 16.
Much like a house.
Number 16. Number 16 coughed up the number 46. Which is another season 2 episode, and it's a season 2 episode we have yet to discuss, Mike. Season 2, episode 21, question mark. We got some Mr. Recco in our simulation.
Which is actually very similar to Lighthouse in that, you know, it's a pretty meaty episode. We find out about the Pearl, but the ending is just like a slow pan into Michael standing menacingly in the armory with his arm in a sling.
So it's just Michael. Yeah, and just like as the hatch clock is beeping. So that is the ending for question mark, and that is the 16th player here. And I think it's good because that's like it's a really good montage. So we have like very good montage representation here. We have other great montages here, but I feel like this is one that's really trying to be like an underdog montage in the cast list. All right, so we've got 4 more contestants to reveal. So for the 17th contestant, we landed on the number 79 again. So Ji Yeon really was on its way into this
Twins.
No matter what. But so I re-rolled the random number generator, and what we got instead was 31. Season 2, episode 6. And if we're going to have the Boone flashback, I guess it's only fitting that we've got the Shannon. So this is Abandoned. Abandoned showed up.
One of the endings we see many times, which is Ana Lucia accidentally shooting Shannon.
Mike, is this the most prolific ending in Lost history because it appears in some capacity in 3 different episodes?
I think either that or the Live Together, Die Alone ending. Yeah. Oh, not the Man of Science, Man of Faith ending would sort of be tied for it. But yeah, this is the one we see at the end of Abandoned. We see it at the end of The Other 48 Days, and we see it at the beginning of Collision. So it's a moment that we have experienced again and again and again.
Yes, Hard Rock Hope, the great Hard Rock Hope says, the level of transparency on the random number generator is admirable. Listen, we don't want anyone to be mad at us. You could be mad at Google's random number generator functionality. You can test it out for yourself right now. Google random number generator, and it's a Google tool, and the Google tool is who you should be mad at rather than Mike and I if your favorites aren't on here or if you are annoyed with who has been selected so far. So Abandon is here, Shannon is dead, Anna has killed her, and that is a representation for a castaway here in the end of Extinction, a Lost Survivor simulation where the endings of episodes of Lost are competing against each other in a game of Survivor to be named the best ending in Lost history. Number 18. Another number that got thrown out already, 84, which again, there's no place like home, a 3-part episode. So it really wanted to make its way into this draft. So I did another wheel spin and we got 117. And
Ooh,
while we only have one Quan flashback, we do have a very big Quan episode here because this is season 6, episode 14. The Candidate.
Ooh, R.I.P. Quans, R.I.P. Saeed,
yes.
R.I.P. when everyone thought Franklopedis was dead for like a hot second.
Yes, so Saeed and the Quans, the tragic fate of Saeed and the Quans is here in 18. The Candidate, I believe the very last scene. So technically the one that's competing
technically
here.
it's the I have some business to take care of.
I gotta kill the rest of the candidates.
I gotta like finishing what I started or something is what Flock says.
Yes. So that's technically what's in competition here, but we know it's at stake.
That's the other thing as well as we sort of round out the casting here. I think for like our own sakes, while the endings are the ones that are competing, we may make references to the episodes themselves, just because there's only so much content you can eke out of like a 5-minute scene at the end. So don't mind if some details sort of leak in from the episodes proper.
Correct. Okay, so 2 more on the board. The penultimate contestant. These are not necessarily like lights out exciting reveals. I think this one's pretty funny. It's what Kate did. So the horse,
Dad,
the horse is here. It's Michael texting with his son on the Dharma computer. And as you'll see when we show you the Brant Steele, if you're watching this live, or if you want to watch the video we will post a link to in the show notes of this podcast, so you can watch along once we begin the Brant Steele. It's this competitor is just represented by the green glowing word "dad."
And that's gonna be the one that just wants to make the family visit. Just wants to see its dad.
What Kate dad?
That's how I'll always remember it.
Talking about So the dad is on the board, and then the final pick. If this is a controversial idea for a Lost podcast, then let's bring one of the most controversial resolutions to a mystery in the mix, although this wasn't the actual resolution of the mystery so much as this was the introduction of the mystery. The final competitor is season 1, episode 9, Solitary. Saeed surrounded by the Whispers in the jungle. So the Whispers are here, and those are your competitors. Those are your competitors here on Survivor, the end of Extinction, question mark. We've divided the tribes as best as we could. We tried to do like even splits. We could have done old school versus new school, but instead
it was super interesting because 10 episodes of this crop
were seasons 1 and 2.
Were seasons 1 and 2, and I think 8 of which we've talked about. We still haven't talked about question mark and 3 minutes, but all the other ones that we've spoken about. But the other ones are from seasons 3, 4, 5, and 6 combined.
Yes. So we tried to split them relatively evenly. For example, Recon and Confidence Man, since they're both Sawyer episodes, they've been split apart. We have split. Boone and Shannon have been split apart.
No.
So hopefully they'll reunite at the merge. So the Finn tribe, not to be confused with Ezra J. Sharkington, is question mark, Confidence Man, Hearts and Minds, Lighthouse, Lockdown, Pilot, The Candidate, There's No Place Like Home, Through the Looking Glass, and What Kate Dad. And then there's the End tribe, which is Abandoned, Exodus, Geon, Recon, Solitary, The Brig, The Economist, The End, The Lie, and 3 minutes, which is definitely not the length of this podcast. It's probably going to be
far from it. I think we took like 20 times 3 minutes to get through the cast itself. But yeah, this is our cast. The tribe names, I decided to give foreign translations of the word end. So Finn is obviously end in Spanish and Portuguese, and Enda, I believe, is in like Dutch or German.
Great. And we're using Survivor Game Changers as our template here, right, Mike?
Because Lost was a game-changing show, so I think it only makes sense.
Game-changing show, and this is also kind of a WTF cast. much like the Game Changers cast itself. So even though it's the end of Extinction, there is no Edge of Extinction here because that's been canceled.
And no fire making at the final four unless it's prompted.
That's right. That's right. So this could be classic Survivor, except for the fact that it's the endings of Lost episodes.
Yeah, far from classic Survivor, but more classic Survivor than maybe some people believe of modern day Survivor.
It's 20 endings of Lost episodes are competing against one another in a game of Survivor simulated by myself and Mike Bloom here on a live episode of Down the Hatch for the title of the best ending of any episode of Lost. And this is mathematical. It's gonna be scientific, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm excited. Let's just do the damn thing. Let's get into this.
Let's do the damn thing. We're hopping into it. Winner picks. Should we place winner picks right now?
I'll put stock in Exodus because again, it's my favorite episode. So no offense to the other episodes, but that's my rooting interest.
All right, I'm going through the looking glass. We have to go back. You got to imagine that that's a winner pick, but are the likely winner picks or the finale is just going to get picked off here pre-merge?
Yeah, is this going to be like an actual game changer?
Oh God, I'm already a little triggered. Just thinking of some of the possible options here. All right, everybody, we're going to do this. We're going in, Mike. Godspeed. Here we go. Okay.
Here we go.
So episode 1, the opening twist, the marooning. If you'll recall, the marooning in Game Changers, there was like you run and you go and you compete to see who's going to get the toolkit. There's everybody like who can untie the knot and get the toolkit. And
yeah, I can imagine that 3 minutes in being very nautical, the most nautical ending probably other than the candidate would probably have an advantage in the water.
Okay, so the Endade tribe is the winner with the 3 minutes Desmond ship sails out in front of everybody, cruises past.
This is already so stupid.
Cruises
1 minute in.
Cruises past. There's no place like home as the freighter has exploded during this water
Sun
challenge.
is screaming.
Yes, and 3 minutes and the Desmond sailboat is just sailing to that toolkit. So the Ende tribe wins reward. And looky here.
Ooh.
Henry Gale Lockdown has found the legacy advantage while nobody was looking.
The fun thing was the legacy advantage was on the boat, but it was buried deep in the ground. And just to make sure, Lockdown dug just to prove itself, and it found the legacy advantage there.
It should be noted that you can skip this podcast and just go, just wait until we get the Dave podcast. You can wait.
You can still jump out now if you need
to. You can still jump out now. We've got 64 people watching this live. You can all leave at any time, and we're going to lean on the chat room to catch up anybody who hops in and goes, what the hell are they talking about?
Why is there a picture of Dad written on a screen playing an idol on a boat?
Oh God. All right. So Lockdown has found the legacy advantage. Let's see what's going on over at the Finn tribe. The Finn tribe's hidden immunity idol, Mike. It's currently hidden. Lockdown has the legacy advantage. So that's the only advantage that's active in the game right now.
Okay, and it looks like everyone's sort of getting settled in. They're starting to know each other, build camp.
Yeah. So everybody's just like kind of like trying to figure out who's everybody, what's everybody all about.
Who all everybody
is the question. Who you come with, who you leaving with. They're trying to suss out these alliances early on. The Ende tribe, there's an idol hidden. They have not found anything there. Let's go to the immunity challenge, Mike. We're going to proceed.
Let's see. So the Ende tribe has a toolkit. Is that going to help them here?
You would think so, right? Like maybe they were able to fish. Maybe they, they were able to get.
I don't know. Is there a gin episode on there to help fish?
I guess technically we don't know. We don't know. Let's see what's going on at the immunity challenge. The first immunity challenge, of course, of Survivor, the end of Extinction. It's the ship wheel puzzle that Gordon Holmes and I absolutely crushed out there on location. Let's see if anybody else is going to have nearly as good of a performance. Blue Lagoon Bustle. And look at it. It is indeed the Ende tribe.
Wow. What a streak going on for Ende.
Yes, the Ende tribe. They have Ji Yeon in the midst. So the ghost of Jin Kwan has been providing them fish. He has been able to, I guess he's not really the ghost of
like
Jin
the fake
Kwan.
ghost?
It's like the fake ghost of Jin Kwan has been providing fish for everybody.
Who do you think? So I guess the Economist is probably going to be like one of the big puzzle masters here, right?
I would guess so. I think that the Economist is that the lie though, it's Eloise Hawking and the lamppost. I think she is somebody who knows how to get everybody in the right place at the right time. So I think a quiet leader there. I think they really just need Abandoned to really sit in the back.
Exactly. And Solitary as well. Solitary's getting very distracted. One voice, James Clement is yelling, and Solitary is just hearing multiple voices.
Yes, that's right. All right, so the Ende tribe has one flint in addition to immunity, so very likely that they are going to be able to create fire moving forward. Let's keep going. Let's see what's going on over at the Finn tribe, which has to start preparing for tribal council. Lockdown still has the legacy advantage. Let's see if anyone has found the idol. I very, very nearly thought that Dad, what Kate did. I was like, Dad?
But what Kate did is impressing the rest of the team.
If you're watching the video version of this, I just want you to watch this part. And how delightful is this? Dad? When you just scroll down the video, Dad? I'm dark horse candidate. The dark horse
only appropriate considering the name of the episode. But what Kate did is impressing the rest of the tribe team. Really a workhorse at camp.
Absolutely.
But otherwise, it looks like maybe some other trouble brewing here. Hearts and Minds and Lighthouse bond slightly.
Yeah, they're both like, what are we doing here? We're not the best endings in Lost history.
We're a little out of our element here.
And they're recognizing that in each other. And
that's good. They're going to tribal council. You know, they're going to need some sort of allegiance here. I don't know if any alliances are forming in this first stage of the game, so they're just sort of clinging to whatever's coming their way.
It's really kind of surprising that that these 3 episodes that are all kind of like, what are they doing here? That they're all having breakout first episodes. 3 minutes had a really strong showing in the first
challenge.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Hearts and Minds and Pilot have a major fight, and I guess that makes sense, right?
Yeah, both of these sort of episodes sort of feature some like Boone and Shannon back and forth
at the end of each of them. Yeah. So this is essentially a Boone and Shannon fight.
Literally, that's what their pictures are.
Okay, Shannon. So where are you going in the jungle if you're not going searching for immunity? So Shannon
you have to vote with me. I run a business.
Yeah, so Pilot has a lot of explaining. It has a lasting impact, this fight, too.
Oh, this means that maybe Hearts and Minds might have to rely on its new bonds very quickly, or it could be out of here.
Hearts and Minds and the Pilot are having a very significant fight here. All right, we've got an alliance on the board.
It's a big one.
It's a big alliance. It's ? Confidence Man, Lighthouse, Lockdown, Pilot, the Candidate, and Through the Looking Glass are in a 7. I can't quite say person alliance, right? It's a
7-episode alliance.
7-episode alliance. So they've got the numbers right now. You got to think that that's not great for Hearts and Minds. If Hearts and Minds is in a bit of a fight right now,
even though it's
clinging on to that Lighthouse loyalty at the moment.
Well, that's the thing, though, but it's also the Pilot's in the alliance, and Pilot just got into a major fight with Hearts and Minds. So I feel like Hearts and Minds is going to have all eyes on it one way or the other in this coming tribal council.
And this is even loyalty all across the board. Everybody's a loyalty 5. So that alliance has formed. Let's go see what's over at the Ende tribe. Am I pronouncing that right, Mike?
Ende, I believe, yeah.
Enda. The Ende tribe. The idol is hidden. Has anyone found it? Doesn't seem
look like it
yet. Abandoned and Exodus have found something in common. They both feature Ana Lucia.
There we go.
Probably be the thing.
That's their one topic of discussion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Ana Lucia is heavily featured in Abandoned, lightly featured in Exodus, and they're like, oh yeah, I forgot that you were in my episode, says Exodus.
Yeah, it's sort of like a Dean and Kelly, like friend of a friend situation, right? Like they both have someone in common.
Yes. All right. So it has a lasting impact, this thing that they've got in common.
Nice.
Now, something is happening with the End. The End is impressing the rest of the team.
Took 10 years, but it's finally impressing.
Here we are a decade later, 10 years on from the End. Some would say a season of Survivor created specifically for the End. And still,
they'd be right.
He's shining everybody on, and everyone's just like, ooh, the End. That ending, like, it's really grown on us. Game of Thrones is pretty bad, so like Lost is really good.
That's the only reason why it's impressing the rest of the team. Like, there's no Game of Thrones.
Maybe, Mike, they're figuring like, oh, well, really the only reason any of us are here is because of the End. So we have to show some respect. We have to show some respect to the series finale. So the series finale really impressing the rest of the team. There is an alliance of 5 here on the Ende tribe. And oddly enough, the End is not a part of it. That alliance, and it's a loyalty of 5 all across the board. Abandoned, Exodus, G-Eon, major provider, so no surprise there.
Makes sense.
Recon and the Brig. I feel like this is fairly disrespectful to 3 minutes after 3 minutes in the Desmond sailboat played such an instrumental role in finding that toolkit.
Right, but
the
now
Ozzy of this tribe.
Yeah, but it's also out fishing all the time, you know, and it's like really providing for the camp that has not had an opportunity to really settle down and make bonds. Like we just saw Abandon and Exodus find common ground. 3 minutes is not really having conversations.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like it's focused somewhere else. Like it's focused on things that happened way in the past and sort of catching us up on it.
All right. I think it's time for tribal council. All right. It's the Finn tribe. We are talking about the first one out.
Ooh, I think it's going to be Hearts and Minds. I think that Hearts and Minds is the one. I mean, unless it ends up being like a random one, you know, unless What Kate Did ends up just randomly, even though What Kate Did was impressing everybody. So.
All right, we'll find out. I think you and I are in lockstep here. I think the big blowout between Hearts and Minds and Pilot, when Pilot is part of this 7-ending alliance, it does not seem like it's going to be very good for Hearts and Minds. An episode that knows it really does not belong here. Can Lighthouse also being an ending that knows it doesn't belong here, slightly aligned with Hearts and Minds? Is that bond going to be enough to save Hearts and Minds? Let's find out. No one has any items. There is no immunity idol to play. Let's read the first vote. The first vote goes to Hearts and Minds. Hearts and Minds. 1 vote, Hearts and Minds. The second vote. Dad? What Kate did.
And Probe says, no nicknames. Don't write Dad on this.
Yeah, Dad?
You have to pull a Sierra and write the person's name and put Dad in parentheses.
The second vote goes to Dad?
What Kate did.
What Kate did. 1 vote, Hearts and Minds. 1 vote, What Kate did. Third vote. Ooh. There's no place like home.
Ooh, is the episode going to end up dead like Jeremy Bentham?
Yeah, or is the Finn tribe, are they going for a finale this early on? Very, very scary stuff for the rest of the finales in the game, if so. Let's read the fourth vote. Ooh, a second vote for There's No Place Like Home. The reveal that John Locke is in the coffin. Fifth vote. Dad?
What Kate did. So we have, that is 2 votes, There's No Place Like Home. 2 votes, What Kate Did. 1 vote, Hearts and Minds.
Wow, Hearts and Minds only with the 1 vote so far. All right, so
might be from Pilot.
5 out of 10 votes have been read. Let's read the 6th vote. Hearts and Minds.
We're tied 2-2-2. We could see a possible vote split here. Maybe they suspect Hearts and Minds has an idol or something.
Could be. It could be. Hearts and Minds. Boone is starting to sweat. He doesn't know if he's hallucinating this. He doesn't know what reality is anymore. 6th vote goes to Hearts and Minds. Let's read the 7th vote. Through the look, There's No Place Like Home. Sorry. The 7th vote goes to There's No Place Like Home.
3-2-2.
Jeremy Bentham would be shaking inside that coffin if not for the fact that he is literally deceased. The 8th vote. Let's read it. Hearts and Minds.
Hearts and Minds. We are tied. 3 votes, Hearts and Minds. 3 votes, There's No Place Like Home. 2 votes, What Kate Did.
All right. 9th vote.
Hearts and Minds.
Okay. Hearts and Minds is really starting to...
So it's 4-3-2 right now. The best Hearts and Minds can hope for is a tie right now. Otherwise, it is done. First one out of Survivor, the end of Extinction.
All right, let's find out. Are we going to have a tie at the first tribal council, or is Hearts and Minds about to go home? I'll read the final vote. Hearts and Minds, the tribe has spoken. The 10th vote and player leaving is Hearts and Minds. I think that this makes sense, right? I think like this is like everyone's like, what is Hearts and Minds doing here? It's Boone.
I'll be honest. I think they saw Boone and they're like, you're not supposed to be here.
Yeah,
like, get out of here.
Be here. You're not supposed to be here. No one asked you here. The random number generator numbers are bad. Hearts and Minds shouldn't be here. Hearts and Minds has been voted out. The tribe has spoken. I'm so sorry.
Let's see how things voted.
Because I wonder too, right? That Boone is the person who died first of the main characters on Lost.
Right. So let's see. So question mark voted for There's No Place Like Home.
Yes.
Confidence Man voted for Hearts and Minds. So it looks like this alliance of 7 may have split their votes between Hearts and Minds and There's No Place Like Home. and then Hearts and Minds and maybe one other threw their votes onto what Kate did.
Wow, Lighthouse is a vicious player. Lighthouse,
Yeah,
despite that slight
voted
bond of
off their
Hearts and
day one
Minds,
friend.
yeah, voted off Hearts and Minds. That is definitely Squirrel Baby Mama Claire in the flesh. Lockdown voted against John Locke's dead body. Pilot, despite getting into a fight with Hearts and Minds, voted for There's No Place Like Home.
Went along with the plan. I think that makes sense, like an easy vote split plan. Looks like There's No Place Like Home was the other vote against what Kate did, joined Hearts and Minds in that regard.
Yeah, so There's No Place Like Home voted for Dad, so left out of the vote potentially. All right, sorry Boone, sorry Hearts and Minds if you're a big Boone stan.
Don't worry, Hearts and Minds, you can go to Ponderosa and indulge in as many substances as you want to. Just no judgment whatsoever.
Hearts and Minds has been voted out, the first one out of Survivor, the end of Extinction.
And I feel like people are happy. This is one of the endings that I think people were begrudging the random number generator for putting in here. Yeah. And so I can imagine that when Jeff says, or when Richard Alpert says, Hearts and Minds,
definitely the host,
voted out the last tribal council, everyone sort of gives like that, okay, kind of reaction.
Pretty much. All right, let's proceed. Let's see what's going on here in episode 2. Over at the Finn tribe, the hidden immunity idol, it's currently hidden. Lockdown has the legacy advantage. Has anyone found the idol? It doesn't look like it. And it looks like that alliance of 7 is holding steady. Meanwhile, over at the Ende tribe, that hidden immunity idol, it's currently hidden. But how about this? Ji-Yeon, the fake ghost of Jin Kwon on a fishing expedition, finds an idol out in the ocean.
Makes sense. The idol actually was in the form of a giant stuffed panda bear, and so Ji-Yeon knew what to look out for.
Wow. Jin Kwon, doing great here. You're doing great, sweetie, as the fake ghost of Jin Kwon's not actually dead existence has found a hidden immunity idol. He has that idol. It seems like Brant Steele wants to tell us that he has the idol twice.
And I also believe that, if we remember, that Ji-Yeon is also part of this Alliance of 5, which is not the majority, but at least some sort of configuration of Abandoned, Exodus, Ji-Yeon, Recon, and the Brig.
Yes. As the Ben behind the curtain notes, Jin burying that panda bear on the beach, it was really something to see.
Yeah, nobody really noticed that big mound of sand.
The hidden immunity panda buried deep in the beach. Let's see what's going to go on next. We're going to go to the immunity challenge.
Yes, this is where I believe they have to carry the giant smoke snake through an obstacle course.
All right, let's see how that goes. Do you have a prediction for who's going to win this one?
I think Ende's got to continue its streak.
Ende's got some. They've got some. What was it? Was it Nuku? It was Nuku, right?
You got big Nuku energy.
Big Nuku energy. Let's see what's going to go on here. And yep. Would you believe it? They did not win. It's the Finn tribe. The Finn tribe mounting a little tiny bit of a comeback.
But the Finn tribe wins the fishing kit. You know that Ji-Yeon and in 3 minutes are just pissed off that they missed out on their fishing equipment.
But you know what? Ji-Yeon's not freaking out about it. Fake Jin Ghost is a competent fisher without the fishing tools. So Fake Jin Ghost feels still confident here and has the idol. So you got to imagine Fake Jin Ghost is going to feel pretty good coming into the second episode. Finn tribe wins immunity. A fishing kit with a raft is going to be waiting for them back.
No, not the raft.
I know, the raft. The raft is here.
Oh, good. Maybe do you think Exodus threw the challenge hearing that a raft was a reward?
Yeah, they were triggered. They didn't want anything to do with the raft on once again. It worked out poorly for them the last time. All right, let's proceed to the tribe events. Let's see what's going on over at the Finn tribe. Hidden immunity idol remains hidden. Lockdown still has that legacy advantage. The lighthouse and the candidate find something in common.
They're both season 6 episodes. I think it makes sense.
Yeah, they both largely feature Jack Shepherd.
Yeah, I think, and they both focus on John Locke and Claire's relationship, or fake Locke and Claire's relationship. So I think that all makes sense.
It's a lasting impact too. So, but we saw how that worked out between Lighthouse and Hearts and Minds.
I know Lighthouse will slit someone's throat.
Is Lighthouse like secretly like that third place finalist that's just like very messily?
I don't know. I could see like Sarah Light Cena potential for Lighthouse.
Yeah. Okay. So Lighthouse and the candidate, they have something in common with a lasting impact. There's a small fight that breaks out between Lighthouse and Through the Looking Glass.
I can see that.
A little bit of a row.
maybe Lighthouse does not feel like they're like, it's Claire and Jack, so that's why I'm seeing like an immediate spat between them is because they are related.
This
And
island isn't big enough for 2 mirror references.
Exactly. Only one will be able to cast light here. The other must be banished.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a lasting impact, this small fight.
Ooh, something's happening with our big alliance of 7, though.
Yeah, and I mean, Lighthouse and Through the Looking Glass are part of this alliance. So Lighthouse and Looking Glass are having a little bit of a conflict. Lighthouse and the candidate are feeling closer. So it feels like maybe some sub alliances and some dissolution of alliances are happening.
Well, speaking of dissolution, scroll down, Josh, because I believe question mark has left the alliance.
Wow, and it's a big question mark as to why, right? Like, why did that happen?
I think it has been slowly monitoring its allies' progress and was unhappy with the results and decided to leave.
Wow, that's a shock.
But it looks like question mark might have other ideas in mind because question mark, it seems like maybe compare the two, Josh. I feel like question mark has formed a similar alliance, but leaving out lockdown.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what these two alliances look like. We've got the alliance of 7 that is now
it's the exact same alliance minus lockdown. Petty AF.
And Through the Looking Glass as well has not been included here.
Look at that. Oh, and there's no place that like Home got invited instead.
Yeah, it feels like that loyalty to Lighthouse is really starting to pan out. Maybe the candidate, Lighthouse, and question mark, you got to figure, are conspiring against each other. Hard Rock Hope notes that Debbie is the question mark of every season. So is question mark in the Debbie Warner position?
Right now. I can't wait for question mark to yell at Confidence Man at some point, a challenge for not putting it on the balance beam.
All right, well, they don't have to worry about any of this right now because they're safe from Tribal. Meanwhile, at the Ende tribe, Ji-Yeon still has that hidden immunity idol. Ji-Yeon and Recon find that they have something in common.
Yeah, they rhyme.
Yeah, Ji-Yeon and Recon. Yeah.
Yeah, Recon's going to change his name to Recon.
Recon and Ji-Yeon. That's pretty, I mean, that writes itself. That makes sense. Jaden has missed 10 minutes on a call and is completely unironically lost.
Well, we are
not far behind. We are not far behind.
Oh, but and looks like Jiyeon's putting in work. Jiyeon is forming a strong bond with Solitary. Solitary is not so solitary anymore.
Jiyeon knew that it had a badass ending, knew that it deserved to be here, knew that most people were kind of going to be like, Jiyeon, really? And they're putting in the work. They're putting in the work to show up here. So Jiyeon and Solitary are bonding. Exodus and Jiyeon are bonding.
Wow. Ji-Yeon, fishy to Ji-Yeon, I think, depending on what happens here.
Well, yeah, because Fake Ghost Jin is finding all the fish.
All the fishies.
Is finding all the fishies as well. And yeah, I think as a provider, I think everybody's just very impressed with Ji-Yeon.
All right, well, let's go to Tribal Council here, Josh, because so we have an alliance of 5, and we have Ji-Yeon sort of putting in social work. So I guess the question is, I mean, there's probably any episode out of that other half that are not included. It probably stands an equal chance of going, right?
Yeah, I think that sounds likely to me.
So we're looking at like The Economist, The Lie, 3 minutes.
Yeah, I think it should likely be one of those. And 3 minutes is on the other tribe, so 3 minutes is. Oh, sorry, I was mistaking that for question mark. If 3 minutes gets votes here, I'm going to be very disappointed considering its performance in the opening challenge in the marooning, but we're just not seeing a lot of activity from 3 minutes here.
Right. I think it probably rested on its laurels in that regard of like, listen, I got the toolkit for the tribe. Okay. It's sort of trying to pull a very primitive Angelina of like, this is my argument for day 39.
All right. Let's see what's going to happen here. Ji-Yeon has that hidden immunity idol. Is he going to play? Is Fake Jin Ghost going to play the idol? He's going to use the idol.
Whoa, Ji-Yeon not feeling safe, surprisingly.
In the second tribal council of the game, Ji-Yeon is using that hidden immunity panda. He pulls out the panda. He brings it up to Richard Alpert and says, I'm going to play this. Any votes cast against Ji-Yeon will not count.
I cannot imagine this was the correct play here. I think I think it got tricked. Much like we got tricked when we watched Ji-Yeon.
This feels very premature. All right, let's read the votes. First vote goes to 3 minutes. It's very disrespectful. Second vote goes to the end.
Oh, even more disrespectful.
Wow. After impressing everybody, after being the reason here for existing, the second vote goes to the end. That's 1 vote, 3 minutes. 1 vote, the end. Third vote. The end.
Oh, no, this is a heartbreaker.
The end has received a third vote. It's 2 votes. The end, 1 vote, 3 minutes. Fourth vote.
Why did you play the idol on the end, Gian?
The end has 3 votes. The end.
Oh, could this be unanimous against the
vote,
end?
3 minutes. I'll read.
Could they all have gathered in a church before tribal council to declare that they were going to vote the end out?
I'll read the 5th vote. The end has received the 5th vote. That's 4 votes. The end. 1 vote, 3 minutes. 5 votes left. The end.
Oh, this is just brutal.
Goes to the end. That's 5 votes for the end. 1 vote for 3 minutes. I'll read the 7th vote.
That's it.
The end. The tribe has spoken. The end. The tribe has
Wow. It
spoken.
closes its eyes as its dog comes and cuddles up next to it.
Wow.
The series finale of Lost, Josh, is the 2nd episode voted out of this season. This is ridiculous.
The whole reason we are doing this, the end has been voted out 2nd, and the end stands up and goes, "Good job, guys. Good job, Exodus. Good job." And Exodus goes, "That's what you get for plotting against me."
The finale stays finale.
The finale stays
namaste.
Finale. Yeah, namaste. Good job, Exodus. As the end is blindsided here, the 2nd one out of Survivor, the end of Extinction.
Unanimous vote.
Absolutely crazy. And a unanimous vote, 9 votes against the end.
We talked about sort of the discrepancy here in terms of casting. And we saw on the Finn tribe, it sort of bore out where maybe one of the more pieces of chaff, yeah, exactly, ended up going home to meet its wife. But I can imagine here that the end just had too big of a reputation that it was just such an easy target from the get-go.
The good news is the end going home 2nd means for season 40 of the Survivor Lost Brant Steele's, the end is going to be the lights out winner, right?
Yeah. I got an end nest. It's in a crop of rock.
The
Ben behind the curtain says, "Someone fire Ben Linus Spillman."
Yeah, wow. Abandon voted the end. They all voted the end.
Yeah, they all voted the end.
Got rocked here. Why did Gian play the idol?
That's a good question. Maybe Gion's just very paranoid and got. I mean, this was season 4. You know, this is when things were sort of at a rocky place, is when new people were coming to the island, and so maybe there was just a sense of heightened unknown.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's crazy. And now Gian, we're about to go into a swap here, going into tribes of 3, and Gian has lost control of an idol.
This is scary times for Gian, an early favorite here on Survivor: The End of Extinction. And I think a lot of people are going to have a lot of questions about what happened to the end. Really? Wasn't that the reason why we're here?
It is. And you know what? It will live on in infamy in many, many ways.
Lil Freezy 1 notes, the end is going to come back to win Down the Hatch Survivor finales in fatality.
Finales in fatality!
You better be ready. All right, let's see what's going to go on. It's time for a twist, Mike. Mike,
of course, it would not be Lost style if we did not get a twist going on.
All right, we're gonna need to get the blackboard out because the tribes are already confusing enough. Now we're about to split them up into 3. It's part of a new twist. New tribes are randomly assigned. There will be 3 tribes. Let's find out what those tribes are. It's the Finn tribe. It's the Ende tribe. It's the Glass tribe.
Yeah, I don't remember what Glass means. I think it's in
I want to guess it means the end, right?
I want to say it's Lithuanian, I believe, for the end.
Okay. All right, so let's stop down. Let's try and make some sense of what the tribe dynamics might be here on the new tribes. Lockdown and Through the Looking Glass are the only holdovers from the original Finn tribe on the new Finn tribe. That's a 4 tribe member advantage for the original Ende here on Finn, Mike.
Yeah, and you could also imagine that, even though there was an alliance of 5 within the Ende tribe, they all did vote together on that last vote, so it might not be as splintered. So Lockdown and Through the Looking Glass have a bit of an uphill battle, and the story is the opposite on the new Ende tribe. From that Ende tribe, Exodus and the Brig have stayed behind as ? Lighthouse, There's No Place Like Home, and Dad, What Kate Did, have made their way over to the blue camp. So again, another 4-2 split here. But The interesting story, Josh, might be at our new Green Gallus tribe, as we are split 3-3.
We're split 3-3 over at the Gallus tribe, where it's Confidence Man, Pilot, and the candidate are holdovers from the original Finn tribe up against G Eon. This might be very good for G Eon. That G Eon is here in a split. Maybe can hop over is a possibility here. You think?
Yeah, I could see, because I mean, Geon's with Solitary in 3 minutes. Neither one of them were part of Geon's original alliance, so I don't know how much loyalty Geon has. It seems to be a flighty episode in particular, so I can imagine that flight's going to crash pretty quickly.
I have to be honest. I'm pretty nervous for a couple of these episodes. Through the Looking Glass and Lockdown, both being in a numbers disadvantage. Those are 2 heavy-hitting episodes on a tribe with Abandoned, Recon, The Economist, and The Lie. This is starting to feel very Game Changers-esque, that they could be in some serious trouble, some early favorites heading into the season. And a similar deal over at the Ende tribe. Sure, there's no place like home, has a numbers advantage, but Exodus and the Brig both are on the outs over at the Ende tribe. So this is nerve-wracking here at the split. Very nerve-wracking.
But given Brand Steel, things can change on a whim. So let's see how these new tribes end up shaking out here. Plus, the idols have essentially been cleared at this point.
The decks are clear. There's just a legacy advantage. Let's see what's going on over at the new Finn tribe. Lockdown still has that legacy advantage.
And so what Brainsteel does nicely is sort of like check in as to who from previous alliances are on the same tribe together. So it looks like Lockdown and Through the Looking Glass, so they are down in the numbers. They were in a tight alliance pre-swap.
They're still tight with each other.
So I can imagine they work together. And Abandon and Recon were also in an alliance pre-swap as well.
Right. And so The Economist and The Lie, maybe they look at themselves and we're like, look, we're the only season 5 and season 4 episodes on this tribe.
Right.
We got to look out for.
We got to rep that middle area of Lost.
Yes, they just have not. They have just not figured out what's going on here. Seems like we've lost some viewers here on the stream. Apologies for that, but I mean we're lost. We're lost as well. Some people seem like they are doing just fine. So we will apologies. Horrible. All right, let's see what's going on over at the Ende tribe. The Ende tribe, idol is currently hidden.
So Lighthouse was on its own from its original alliance, though Lighthouse was one to make lots of bonds here. But Exodus and the Brig were working together in their previous tribe.
And
it looks like Question Mark's alliance that it forged between itself and Lighthouse and There's No Place Like Home is sticking out. So I can imagine that this group is going to have a majority on this new Ende tribe.
Yeah, it looks like it as well on my end. So it's starting to look, Mike, it really is looking like old tribal lines are going to be hanging tight here for the most part, which is
for the time being, I can imagine.
Very, very scary. All right, let's see what's going over on the new Galas tribe. Let's see what's happening.
The new Legolas tribe. Yeah. So we have Confidence Man and the Pilot and the Candidate all in an alliance together previously. Geon was sort of out on its own here. So that could be yet another step in Geon's struggles at the moment, is that it is sort of fighting an uphill battle against an already determined alliance in a 3-3 split.
All right, we're going to the first immunity challenge of the post-swap tribes. Let's find out what's going on. Hold your breath.
Let's remember, so 2 tribes are going to win immunity here, and 1 is going to go to Tribal Council.
That's right. So 1 tribe is going to go to Tribal Council here. We're not at that famous Mike Bloom is cracking up at the Robbed Goddess.
Not yet. That's next episode, baby.
Yeah, that's coming up. All right, let's proceed to the results. It's going to be the original Ende and Finn tribes win. That new tribe, Galas, is going to lose immunity. It's a 3-3 going to Tribal Council.
This is the most interesting outcome. So I'm glad it happens first, so we can at least see how it's going to shake out.
Yeah, I think that is nice. I was really worried for both Exodus and the Brig. I was worried for Lockdown and Through the Looking Glass. I think that the Galas tribe makes a lot of sense. The Legolas tribe. Let's see what's gonna happen over there. Over at the Finn tribe, Lockdown still has the legacy advantage. There's a hidden immunity idol that is buried. Has anyone found it?
Oh, the
Ooh.
Economist has a major meltdown. That makes sense. I think it's
Yeah.
trying to figure out its next target. It's not going through the steely gaze that it might have had once upon a time. So
Correct.
I think it makes sense.
I think that makes sense as well. Not the least of which is because The Economist is in major conflict within itself. You know,
Right.
it's Ben Linus and Saeed are represented in that final scene of The Economist. Not exactly the most comfortable of bedfellows in The Economist. Through the Looking Glass, meanwhile, impressing the rest of the team.
Makes sense. I think it impressed the rest of us as well, and so I think that it's really endearing itself to its new tribe. But it looks like something is happening with this old alliance. Recon has left its
Mm.
old tribal alliance behind, setting off on its own. It wanted to sort of take off and become its own cop,
Wow.
its own law officer, trying to figure out the rules to follow when it comes to alliance making.
Wow. Recon and Geon were so tight. What
Right.
happened?
I mean, Geon isn't on its tribe, so maybe it just felt like, okay, Geon's not here, so like I'm gonna make my own path, and hopefully I'll join up with Geon later.
What a strange choice. Is it so Recon and the Economist, they're on this same
Oh,
tribe.
they're forming the Reconomist.
The Reconomist is a thing. I think maybe Recon appreciates that the Economist is having a meltdown,
Appreciate some vulnerability. It is a Sawyer episode, so it makes sense.
sees a potential FTC goat. It's a little early for that Recon, but this is Sawyer's thing, right? He's got the
Yeah,
long game, the long con, the
exactly.
long recon. Let's see what's going on over at the Ende tribe. That idol remains hidden. The candidate has left its original alliance.
Oh, it blew up its game. It said like, all right, you know what? I'm out. I don't
why
care
why
anymore.
did
I'm
it
my own free agent.
why did it do that? What was the reason?
Maybe it feels like it, with new people here, it wanted to, make a better impression with other people, and as a result, it felt like it severed all its loyalties at the moment.
Okay, all right. Let's keep going. Let's see what's going on over at the Gallus tribe. Idol remains hidden. Confidence Man in 3 minutes find something in common. Both episodes end with a beach view.
Yeah, I was gonna say like they both love the water, both love the beach, so I think they find something in common there. What is going on with the candidate?
The
Oh, the
candidate,
candidate has a major meltdown.
maybe that's why the candidate had departed from the its original alliance because it's having a huge meltdown on its own here over at the Gallus tribe.
But it's
Meanwhile,
also impressing the rest of the team.
Brant Steele is Brant stealing pretty
Oh,
hard right now.
it's freaking out a lot. But you know what? It did some great work on the roof of that shelter. I can't complain too much.
I guess like the candidate, much like the ending of that episode as well. It's like I can't believe they just killed off three main characters. I'm furious, and simultaneously, it's like I can't believe Lost just killed three main characters.
Yeah, it's a little bit of like the pure audacity, but like I'm impressed with the audacity. So it's a mixed amount of emotions. But
mixed amount of emotions.
that being said, the Gallus tribe going to tribal council, the candidate has all eyes on it, and not necessarily for good reasons.
Yes, the Ben behind the curtain notes there is no Saeed. That is the meltdown. Seems very likely that is the meltdown. All right, Mike, we got to go to tribal council. Third person from the game about to be eliminated over at the Gallus tribe. Again, that's Confidence Man, Pilot, and the candidate from the original Finn tribe versus Geon. Solitary in 3 minutes. Is it a versus situation, Mike? Is there going to be some consensus found here? Or do you think that we're going to Black Rocks this early on?
No, I think it's going to be a rather consensus thing. I could see either the candidate or Geon taking a bullet here, personally.
Okay, let's find out what's going on. No one has any items. The idol remains hidden. No one has the idol. Let's see what's going on. First vote, the candidate.
Mm-hmm.
First vote goes to the candidate. I'll read the second vote. 3 minutes.
Oh, 3 minutes, getting more votes.
All right. Right now it's a little bit on tribal lines. So let's see what's going on here. I'll read the third vote. 3 minutes. Third vote goes to 3 minutes. That's 2 votes, 3 minutes. 1 vote, the candidate. 3 minutes.
Wow. Could this be a pylon? But did they all agree to break tribal lines and just get 3 minutes out of there?
No, the pylons are more inland. The sonar.
Yeah, exactly. We have to get to enter 7-7 for that.
Yes. Okay. So that's 3 votes, 3 minutes, and 1 vote for. Got to scroll back. The candidate. Read the next vote. 3 minutes.
That's it.
The tribe has spoken. You know what? Makes a lot of sense to go after 3 minutes here. Such an impressive showing in that first challenge. that they must figure, take him out while we've got the chance. Take him
Yeah,
out while we have.
and you know, it did seem like in this case the former Finn members were able to get the End members on their side because 3 Minutes was not someone that really worked with a lot of End people. It spent a lot of time in the ocean thinking back to days gone by, and so I can imagine that it was just very easy to sort of get rid of an outsider and say, "No, we can move forward 5 strong. I promise you, we won't outnumber you."
Yes.
And then from that capacity, I do fear for the former NDA members in this tribe because they are now outnumbered.
Confidence Man voted for 3 Minutes. Geon voted for 3 Minutes. So Geon turned against.
Yeah, they were all. It was a unanimous vote, I believe.
Yeah, so that's a rough break for 3 Minutes.
3 Minutes and third boot too.
Yeah,
boot
I guess it kind of wrote itself.
Yeah, like much like Beast Mode Cowboy only lasted 9 days on both of his Survivor seasons. There's symmetry there.
Yeah, seems like there's a lot of confusion in the chat room over what is going on. Would it help to know that there is a lot of confusion going on among the podcasters as well?
I think that helps. We're all in the same boat, and that boat is sailing away right now.
A squid then Kurt writes, "This is the most niche thing I've ever watched." Yeah, I think that this is probably the nichiest thing that I have ever participated in.
This is like the 1% of 1% of our audience will actually appreciate it, but we're doing it for them. We're doing it for that 0.01%.
I repeat, you could skip this podcast. You could just wait for Dave. You could wait for the Dave recap.
But we're having so much fun. We're having such a good time. I'm having
an incredible time. Dave-O Drum says, "Keep it up, guys. We're going to keep it going." A strong recommendation to be watching the video version of this podcast rather than just listening to the audio. It may help. I don't know. Mike is shrugging.
I think anything will help at this point, to be quite honest, because we're having a tough time with visuals. And we're about to get into an episode where 2 tribes are voting together, which I'm sure will confuse things even more.
Oh my goodness. All right. Let's see what's going on over at the Finn tribe. That idol remains hidden. No one has found it. Pretty idol-free game.
And of course, the notable thing from the new Finn tribe was the new alliance of the Reconomist of Recon and the Economist.
Yeah, and their loyalty has improved a little bit. Recon's still less loyal than the Economist, but it's a 4
Makes sense.
It's up from their 3-3. Let's see what's going on over at the NDA tribe. Idol remains hidden. No one has found it. The idol is still buried somewhere, Mike, out there in the beach.
Yeah, makes sense. Maybe Nikki and Paulo buried it and nobody's ever going to find it.
It's possible. And over at the Gallus tribe, that idol is also still hidden.
And there's a distinct 3-2 advantage here as Geon and Solitary are a bit looking on the outside in.
Yes, that's right. So did they make the right choice? Do they have enough confidence in Confidence Man, the relationship they've made with Confidence Man, with Pilot and the candidate to move forward? Let's proceed. It's a reward challenge.
Oh, I believe this was the infamous coffee is for closers hashtag that showed up. When
hashtag coffee is for people who work in the hatch. And the NDA tribe and the Gallus tribe are both going to win reward, which is going to leave the Finn tribe empty-handed. It's going to be sad for Abandoned, Recon, the Reconomist, the Lie, Looking Glass, and Lockdown are going to be empty-handed. It's the blast doors closed right in front of Lockdown as they were just about to get some PB&Js. Yeah,
unfortunately, and down on their poor legs.
Absolutely. All right, immunity challenge time. Let's find out what's going to happen. We're expecting 2 tribes are going to be going to tribal council here, right, Mike?
I believe so. Yeah, if my numbering is correct.
Okay, here we go. The Gallus tribe wins immunity.
Okay, so this is interesting. So we're going to have the Finn and NDA tribes going to tribal council, and if we tally the numbers, we're back up 6-6.
Yes, so it's going to be the Finn and NDA tribes are both going to tribal council. 6 original Finn versus 6 original NDA split across multiple tribes. Solitary isn't even here, but you got to imagine there's going to be a lot of whispers going on.
If only the hunting party was there to talk about drawing a line in the middle of tribal council, because I feel like that's going to happen. Man, this is going to be a very, very fun and chaotic time.
You're the only one who thinks so, Mike. Because,
yeah, I'm pointing and laughing right now.
This is infamously, if you're a Survivor fan, if you're a fan of Survivor podcasting, you know this was the moment where Mike Bloom, live at a live Know-It-Alls, pointed and laughed as fan favorite Malcolm Freeberg was voted out. Twist screwed at this tribal council. who's going to be twist screwed. The chat room, let us know who you think is the Malcolm here. I've seen some votes for Through the Looking Glass. I certainly hope that is not the case. Let's see what's going on over at the Finn tribe. The Finn tribe, abandoned and Through the Looking Glass, they find that they have something in common, and they're reaching across party lines there for that.
Yeah, but it looks like our newfound, so the Reconomist looks like it's forming. It's a little less loyal than it was before, but another Finn tribe alliance. And speaking of reaching across party lines, Josh, we formally get one here. We have the Lie Down, the Lie and Lockdown are coming together here.
Yeah, Eloise Hawking, big fan of hot air balloons, underreported, loved Henry Gale's work, the original Henry Gale, and so the two of them are potentially going to work together. A lot going on, too much
so that could complicate the 6-6 that we see. Looks like on the Ende tribe, Josh, the Ende tribe beach is lucky because yet another idol has been found, and like a beacon from a tall point, Lighthouse has found the idol.
Lighthouse has found the idol. Lighthouse has found that hidden immunity idol, the wishy-washy Lighthouse, who's just like snaking everybody Lighthouse can. That's crazy squirrel baby mama Claire has found the hidden immunity idol. That's a dangerous player to find an idol, Mike.
And especially, again, going into this big tribal council.
Yes. Meanwhile, Exodus is impressing the rest of the team. Is that good or is that bad? They're like, okay, well, Exodus is a big target. Maybe we want to get rid of a big target.
It depends if they're able to, this could be a Malcolm situation, right? Where it's like, let's get rid of a big player from the opposite team. If Finn gets word of that, it could be trouble.
Absolutely. All right, let's proceed to the Gallus tribe. What's going on over
there? They have the day off of tribal council, but it does not stop Confidence Man from putting in the work. It may not have the inhalers, but it has an immunity idol.
Well, Saeed at the end of Confidence Man shall not walk alone, though he does walk off into the jungle, and apparently walking off on his own was a good choice. Found an idol. Confidence Man.
Meanwhile, Solitary and the Candidate have a major fight. That makes sense. The first Saeed episode and the last appearance of Saeed in the main timeline.
What do you mean I'm going to blow up in a submarine?
I do what with the C4?
Wait, what? Are you serious? So big issues for Solitary.
But looks like the Candidate's just having a lot of trouble in this post-swap game. The Candidate has left its former Finn tribe alliance.
Melting down the Candidate. Again,
it really did have a blow-up, much like the C4.
It did. All right. Here we go, Mike. If we can survive this, then we can make it through the rest of this Brant Steel.
Wow. All right, here we go. Our first ever combined tribal council in Brant Steel history, I believe, as we're going to have two tribes of 6 voting together for one person to leave here.
Wow. So it's 2 tribes are combining for one tribal council. It's going to be 6 members of the original Finn versus 6 members of the original Ende combining. Oh, gosh. Here we go. I don't even have a prediction. I have no idea.
No, Lighthouse does have an idol, so that's a thing.
Okay.
So we'll see. Maybe it plays it in all this fracas.
You would think so. You got to imagine there's going to be some standing up and whispering, some cross tribal communication going on here. If this goes like Game Changers, Mike, who's Malcolm here? Who's standing?
It's got to be Through the Looking Glass, or either through the. I guess Exodus is my Malcolm, so I guess that might be a good second option. But I feel like from a universal perspective, it's Through the Looking Glass.
All right. Well, let's not waste any more time. Here we go.
So Lighthouse has the idol. Let's see if it gets played. Lighthouse plays the idol on question mark.
Wow. Okay.
Interesting. So this is very much like Ty playing the idol on Sierra Dawn Thomas. Does Lighthouse get a sense as to where those votes are coming?
Yes, and question mark did start that new alliance with Lighthouse back in the day, and I believe with the Candidate as well, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm very likely mistaken. Oh my God. Okay, so question mark cannot be eliminated from the round. All right. Michael Dawson's slow pan is going to...
It would clap, but it only has one arm.
One arm. All right, let's see. Any votes against question mark will not count. Question mark remains in the hunt for best ending of any Lost episode ever. Let's keep going. Let's read the votes. First vote, question mark does not count.
Wow, good read, Lighthouse.
Second vote, question mark does not count.
Wow.
The third vote, question mark does not count. Fourth vote, question mark does not count.
No votes valid so far.
Fifth vote, Question mark does not count.
Holy crap.
A baller idol play from Lighthouse. Who is going to be the unlucky benefactor? What's the opposite of a benefactor?
Malefactor?
A Henry factor?
Yeah.
All right, let's find out who is in trouble here because of the Lighthouse's stunning idol play. The sixth vote goes to Lighthouse! Oh my God! The Lighthouse has received the sixth vote. That's 1 vote Lighthouse, 0 votes anybody else. Seventh vote.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
The
Oh my
seventh
God.
vote.
Oh my God.
Lighthouse. That's 2 votes Lighthouse. No votes anybody else.
Lighthouse, you played yourself.
Eighth vote goes to Dad. The eighth vote goes to what Kate did.
Oh, okay.
That's 2 votes Lighthouse. 1 vote what Kate did. Dad, the ninth vote goes to what Kate did. So that's 2 votes Lighthouse.
2 votes what Kate did.
1 vote left.
No, 3 votes left.
It's 3 votes left. Dad, 10th vote goes to Dad. 10th vote goes to Dad. Dad's still in it. 3 votes Dad. 3 votes what Kate Dad.
This could be like a 5-5-2 situation.
Wow. The 11th vote. What Kate did. I'm sorry, the tribe has spoken. The 11th vote, player leaving.
So we have a wasted idol, and the person playing the idol on someone else getting votes against them. And here comes what Kate did out of nowhere, completely blindsided.
Blindsided. Dad.
Didn't even make the family visit.
Oh, man. Brant Steele edit got y'all, says Weed Brain in the chat room. And indeed, it did. These are the votes. Question mark voted for what Kate did. That's some Michael voting for Michael shenanigans.
Wow, and question mark's even involved in the question on the screen.
Wow. Exodus voted for question mark, did not count. Lighthouse voted for what Kate did. The Brig voted for question mark. There's no place like home voted for what Kate did. What Kate did voted for question mark. Abandoned for question mark. Lockdown for what Kate did. Recon for Lighthouse, The Economist for Lighthouse, Reconomist.
So Reconomist had its own idea to just throw a couple of votes onto Lighthouse. All the other ones seem to vote either against question mark or what Kate did.
Right. You mentioned that the idol was wasted. There seems to be some disagreement in the chat room that it was a 5-5-2 vote. So the idol going on question mark.
Yeah, I guess the question is, what would the Reconomist have done in a revote?
Right. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh my
wow, we nearly saw the Lighthouse Sandra Diaz-Twine itself.
I want to give a shout out in the chat room. Beach and Brunette, who has no experience with Survivor whatsoever, enjoys our lost shenanigans, Mike. And this is Beach and Brunette's first exposure to Survivor, has been openly expressing some confusion over what's happening here in this Brant Steele. And Beach and Brunette just writes, knowing a tiny bit about Survivor, the basics, even though I've never watched it, I think I'm starting to get this a bit. So, all right, if this is your introduction to Survivor, this is a good way to start.
Listen, this is like learning basic math with advanced algebra, by being like starting with the most advanced point and then working your way back.
Advanced algebra. This is much dumber than that.
We're really figuring out the sine and cosine of Survivor.
All right. Hearts and Minds first went out. The End second one out. 3 minutes third one out. What Kate did is the fourth one out. Through 4 votes, Mike, how are you feeling about this Brant Steele?
I mean, it seems like I think the most questionable casting choices are the ones that are getting voted out here, which makes me happy. And even episodes
with a big shot at the end,
with a big shot at the end. But even episodes like Lighthouse that were questionable coming into this are doing things to at least showcase itself in the game.
Yeah.
So that makes me happy. These are starting to take on identities, which is exciting. And I think we're gonna have one more episode of this 3-tribe scenario before we mix it back up into 2 again. So let's see what the heck happens after that bit of a jumble where it did seem like there was a bit of crossing tribal lines the last tribal council.
Okay, so this is episode 5. Let's see what's going on in episode 5. Over at the Finn tribe, immunity idol remains hidden. No one has found it. Lockdown still has that legacy advantage, which for the benefit of Beach and Brunette, that legacy advantage can only be played at 2 points in the game. At the merge, right, Mike?
It's either at the merge or at the final 6. And John Locke feeling really good about the legacy advantage in particular.
Yes, absolutely. Loves that legacy advantage. That alliance between the Reconomists, they work together there. It's a loyalty of 4.
And we also have the lie down as well, which I imagine helped work together too.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, over at the next tribe, at the Ende tribe, that idol is hidden. It was played.
Wow. So this is twice on the Ende tribe. Someone has immediately found the idol and then played it.
Yes, and so that idol
just cannot stay in their hands.
It has once again disappeared. Meanwhile, over at the Gallus tribe, Confidence Man has that hidden immunity idol. I believe it's the only idol that is currently in the game, other than the legacy advantage. Advantage Geddon currently not on the menu. But
yeah, I believe actually the way Brain Steel does it in this one in particular is that there'll be one idol hidden at the merge, and then another one will not be hidden until all idols are expended. So I think they try to avoid advantage Geddon as much as possible. They want to avoid an incident, as it were.
Yes. Well, with the incident not in play here, I think that is only fair. Let's go to the reward challenge. Let's see what's going on at the reward challenge. It's a victory for Gallus and Ende. Baked goods, iced tea, and milk. The Ende tribes got some milk.
Ooh, finally. Too bad the whole tooth was the one that delivered it to them, seemingly.
On a boat. The whole tooth just showed up and gave them some milk. And the Gallus tribe wins chocolate chip cookies from the little pallet that dropped out of nowhere. All right, immunity challenge time, and it's just going to be one tribe that is going to tribal council.
Thank God.
Thank God. Oh, my goodness. Let's see what's going on here at the immunity challenge for episode 5.
Looks like Gallus and Finn. So Ende going back to tribal council here after just losing a member.
Kate did, yes. What Kate dad is off of the Ende tribe, but there is still a numbers advantage of ? Lighthouse. There's no place like home and Exodus and the Brig. So you would think that it's probably going to be Exodus or the Brig that is in danger here. Let's just check in on the status of the Finn tribe really quickly. Nothing too new to report.
Oh, wait, looks like we have another alliance here. Recon really spreading its seed, as it were, in true Sawyer style, has shacked up with Abandoned. A bit of two for the road style, Josh.
Yes. They found themselves caught in a net, Mike. Recon and Abandoned. They are considering working together. A 5-5 loyalty there over at the Ende tribe. This is the tribe to watch. What's going on there? Idle Satan. Nothing's happened. It's pouring rain. Nobody's going out. Nobody wants to talk.
Yeah, but you'd assume since it's pouring rain, it's a pretty normality on the Lost Island. So you think people would just go about their business, but no, it really is deterring strategy here.
It really is. Over at the Gallus tribe, Confidence Man still has that idol. A small fight between Pilot and Solitary with a lasting impact. Saeed and Shannon often get into a bit of a scuffle. Maybe Shannon mistranslated some French from a clue.
Or Saeed's just like, why? This is a song. Why did you waste my time like this?
Like maybe a clue was mistranslated, and they're trying
an idol clue, and they miss it. And that's how Confidence Man got the idol. Instead, it tailed them.
Yes, a missed clue. Confidence Man has left its original Finn tribe alliance. This we know,
but it looks like it has moved forward with Gion and Solitary.
Guys,
oh my God. Pilot is medically evacuated from the game due to an injury.
The pilot has been medically evacuated.
It got torn apart by some creature, by a rabid goat, and thrown into the trees, bloodied.
The survivor gods have just decided to medically evacuate the pilot like a smoke monster bursting through the glass airplane windshield, ripping poor Seth Norris from his seat.
Or Gary Troop style, sucked into a propeller.
Greg Grunberg, not doing exit press, we should note. So I think maybe some hard feelings between Pilot and the survivor gods. Wow, the Pilot has been medically evacuated from the game.
Wow, that came out of nowhere.
That is awful. This is awful.
That's, of all the ways to go, I did not want the Pilot to go that way.
This is a really tough week in Survivor Brant Steele podcasting too. The whole network is really shaken up by what's happened to Pilot. We have to question the safety standards of the Survivor Lost Island.
Oh my God. Well, so we see, the rise and fall of this tribe. Confidence
Wow.
Man is really reaching out to make new bonds, but it's all for naught. And the Ende tribe is saved from tribal council once again.
Are we sure about
You'll
that?
skip ahead. Tribal council's
Yeah,
canceled.
tribal council's been canceled. Tribal council's been canceled. And what was shaping up to be a very compelling vote at the Ende tribe, too. That is just so disappointing. What a shame. Oh gosh, I just feel awful. I feel
Yeah,
awful.
I mean,
Alhara notes in the chat room that Pilot was posting on Instagram this week.
like plain day is the best day.
That's great.
Hashtag just reported a bag in the airport.
That's great. That's great. The pilot's alive. The pilot's okay. Alhara notes that the pilot's not going to be at the
there's
reunion.
actually a postscript afterwards that says, like, the pilot recovered shortly afterwards and looks forward to playing again.
Yes. Okay. So looking forward to the pilot getting a second chance. Rob Goddess, the pilot, for sure.
Wow.
Just very dramatic. I think we're all really shaken up here in Survivor.
A lot of turbulence going on with this medevac.
Lots of turbulence with this medevac. Strong argument that Pilot should have won the whole thing. So Pilot's going to come back in a future season.
Well, just in time, Josh, for everyone to get shaken up. We are about to go into yet another swap as 3 tribes are going back to 2.
Okay, so 3 tribes are about to go to 2. Gallus, which has 2 original Finn, 2 original Ende. The Ende tribe has 3 original Finn, 2 original Ende. So it looks like the numbers are all still mostly pretty good. Does the original Ende has like a slight advantage? I think
I believe so, but knowing Brainsteel, and it seems like considering Confidence Man and the Lie starting to really make alliances across tribal lines, I think that is very quickly fading away.
Yeah. I gotta say, pretty compelling to me that we had 68 viewers in here when we started the Brainsteel, and we currently have 58. We've only lost 10 people. I'm shocked by this.
Wow.
This is absolute nonsense what's occurring here.
But Josh,
I have no idea what's happening. I have no idea what's happening. I've never been more confused on a podcast. Let's see what's going to happen with the twist. The brig has been exiled. The brig
sent to the Black Rock.
Yeah, the brig has been sent to the Black Rock to go to exile.
Where Cochrane shows up out of the magic box.
Oh my God. Cochrane has showed up out of the magic box. And the brig has chosen to create a fake hidden immunity idol.
That makes sense. This is Anthony Cooper's final bow. It feels like a very con man move, right? To like con someone with a fake idol.
Yes. Okay, so really, really powerful move from the brig. Feeling like Anthony Cooper is dead. The brig wants to take some of that dead con man energy moving in to the next game.
Yeah, and I believe this also means that the brig will not be able to be voted out in the next vote, and they will join the losing tribe after the next vote.
So the brig is safe for a little while. The brig's going to chill on the Black Rock. The tribes as they stand now, Mike.
Ooh, okay.
So your pen and paper. We're gonna need to figure this out. So the new Finn tribe is Confidence Man, Exodus, Gion, Lockdown, Recon. Oh, Recon and Economist have split up. That's very upsetting. Lockdown, Recon, Solitary, and the Lie.
So let's stop down here for a second because there are some interesting relationships. Even though the Reconomist
I'm typing furiously as I'm trying to make sense of.
Though they have been split up. The Lie Down is still together. Lockdown and the Lie, they were close together at the previous tribe. Correct. And Confidence Man just formed an alliance with Gion and Solitary on the Galas tribe, and now they're all together here. This is a really, really good draw for the members of the Galas tribe.
I gotta say, I'm really impressed that Gion has been able to keep its head down at this point.
After playing that idol completely meaninglessly.
Yes, absolutely. So very, very impressive. Oh wow. Okay, so let's see where we're gonna go here. Looking at the new dynamics of these new tribes. The hidden immunity idol at the Finn tribe has Conference Man has that idol from
the other tribe.
Finn tribe.
It could theoretically have 2 idols if it knows where to look.
Finn idol remains hidden. Lockdown still has the legacy advantage. Anything standing out from you in terms of these alliances here, Mike?
Looks like Exodus, Exodus and Geon come back together from their original Ende Tribe alliance, but that's really the one major one. Otherwise, as I mentioned before, we have the Lie Down and we have that Gallus Tribe alliance that was formed at the last minute working together here.
It seems like Gallus is feeling like, all right, the three of us, let's see if we can stick together. But it is a 7-person or a 7-ending tribe, I should say.
Right, and but that also means that the last member of the Gallus Tribe is on their own on the other tribe.
It's true, and that's not great. So over at the NA tribe, Idol is still hidden. No one has found it. Anything popping out to you? Lighthouse and Looking Glass remain relatively loyal.
Yeah, it looks like question mark Lighthouse and There's No Place Like Home are back together from their old days on the Finn tribe together, which is nice. But yeah, otherwise, The Economist and Abandon were both abandoned by Recon. So maybe they can figure things out to work together.
Wow.
Otherwise, things are a bit scattered to the winds here.
All right, let's go to the immunity challenge. It's anyone's guess who is going to lose immunity. Let's find out what's going to happen here. The Finn tribe wins immunity. Ji-Yeon is a challenge beast, man.
Wow.
Ji-Yeon is just
killing it.
Just carrying it. Ji-Yeon, Exodus, Confidence Man, Lockdown, Recon, Solitary, The Lie are all safe at this stage of the game. The Ende tribe is going to go to tribal council, and the Brig will join the Ende tribe after the Ende tribe votes somebody out of the game, Mike.
Let's see what's happening on the Finn tribe, because there is an idol out there.
Okay, over at the Finn beach, it remains buried. It's still hidden. No one knows where that idol is. Lockdown and The Lie, they were so tight for so long, but they've had a small fight.
That makes sense. Even your closest allies, you're accustomed to get into spats with, so I think it only makes sense.
It's got a lasting impact. These lasting impacts.
Really and something's happening with The Lie down here.
Yeah,
the Lie leaves the alliance.
The Lie has left the alliance.
The Lie says, "I am done here. I tried to reach across the aisle, and the plane fell apart. And I'm done with lockdown."
And this is when Eloise Hawking, had said, like, if we can't get them all, then God help us all. And it's Eloise Hawking who's leaving the alliance. So really not taking her own advice as far as the recipe for success. I think this is a very dubious decision by Eloise Hawking, but obviously doesn't have to worry about it this round as the Finn tribe is safe heading into this tribal council. It is the Ende tribe, and over at the Ende tribe,
Lighthouse has found the idol again.
Lighthouse knows what to do. Well, it's not exactly fair because crazy squirrel baby mama Claire,
she knows that jungle like the back of her hand.
She's been here on her own for 3 years. You know, she was out here on the island for 3 years before anybody showed up to play Survivor. So
yeah, she wasn't even cast. They found her there and said, "Okay, I guess we could use another one."
Knows the terrain pretty well. Lighthouse and Abandoned bond strongly.
I could see that. Like
can you?
I mean, I don't know, forming maybe a sort of all women's alliance here.
I don't really know.
All female focused alliance.
Yeah, I don't really know. Major fight, meanwhile, between question mark and Through the Looking Glass. Question mark has just been really irascible throughout this entire game.
I mean, it makes sense. It's something that you really feel like you're being watched by question mark at all times. And I think that can really get on people's nerves.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, the candidate and There's No Place Like Home have made the fight. The candidate's like, we've got the best deaths in our episode. We've got the best characters are dead.
Or the candidate's like, I'm confused. You're in that coffin, but you just blew up.
But you blew me up. How did you do that? And Jeremy Bentham's like, I don't know. Don't ask me. I'm a dead body in a coffin playing Survivor. And I'm the ending of an episode. I'm the ending of an episode, and I'm not even a human.
It looks like that Finn Tribe Alliance from back during the day. There's No Place Like Home has left the alliance. Not very into question mark Confidence Man and Lighthouse. It has finally decided to leave things be and strike off on its own, almost like the end of Confidence Man, ironically enough.
Yeah, There's No Place Like Home has left the alliance. That could be very bad heading into this tribal council where we don't know exactly.
Yeah, well, let's see here. I mean, the Lighthouse does have an idol. Will it play it again? Does it have hot hands?
You know, with the way that Brand Steel has been going, you gotta think it's probably what's gonna go down. All right, question mark, Abandoned, Lighthouse, the candidate, the Economist, There's No Place Like Home, and Through the Looking Glass are heading to tribal council. Someone is about to become the 6th player eliminated from this game. Let's find out who it's gonna be. So Lighthouse has the idol. Lighthouse gonna use the idol. Let's find out.
No.
No. All right. So the first vote's going to go to There's No Place Like Home. It's kind of bullshit to vote against a dead body, but there you go. All right.
It's an easy target,
Easy target. It's
shooting
just
fish in a barrel.
not doing any strategizing.
Easy pickings.
You could just like take it as a target. The second vote is going to go to Abandoned. Taking shots at Abandoned.
Oh, accidentally so, perhaps.
All right. Third vote. Abandoned. That's 2 votes Abandoned, 1 vote Through the Looking Glass. Fourth vote. The Economist.
Okay. So we're at a 2-1-1 here with 3 votes left.
2 votes for Abandoned, 1 vote for Through the Looking Glass, 1 vote for The Economist. Fifth vote. The Economist.
Wow. 2 votes The Economist, 2 votes Abandoned, 1 vote There's No Place Like Home. 2 votes left.
Okay. Sixth vote. The Economist.
The Economist. All right. Again, the most I could hope for is a tie. If a vote for Abandoned comes up, then we're at a 3-3-1 tie.
Wow. Seventh vote.
Oh, The Economist.
The tribe has spoken. Wow.
A 4-2-1 vote here. The Economist is sniped out of nowhere like a guy on a golf course, Josh.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you, Mike. This is not a surprise to me. Even though The Economist was playing a pretty good game, its alliance with the Economist alliance was really iconic once upon a time. But there was no way that an alliance of Ben and Saeed as a combo player was ever going to go to.
No, it was two-faced. It was almost like it was fighting with itself, and I think that even its former tribe members were just willing to cut loose here. So Question Mark voted for The Economist, Abandon voted for The Economist, Lighthouse voted for The Economist. The candidate was the one to throw its spare vote for There's No Place at Home. Really, the candidate has been suffering on a lifeline here the entire time, and The Economist and There's No Place Like Home were the 2 votes for Abandon. Through the Looking Glass joined the others in voting out The Economist. So really all over the place in terms of tribal lines here. I think we could sort of call them completely blurred right now.
Yeah, and the Brig is going to be joining the NA tribe in The Economist's place, so the numbers are going to remain even. Hard Rock Hope notes we are 2 hours in and a third of the way through the season. Do we think that this is going to be the longest podcast in Down the Hatch history? Is this going to trump the 5-ish hours podcast?
No, definitely not. Considering that the first hour was us talking through the endings, this is actually flowing relatively quickly. And once we get to the post-merge as well, with only one tribe to go through, it'll hit like the 6th season, just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, the Ben Behind the Curtain notes that this was probably an attempt to weaken Recon. I think Recon has been playing with its chest puffed out the whole time. I'm going to take the sub, thinking that they just had their ticket off the island here the whole way through. And I think that people know that Recon shouldn't be here, and Recon is playing like, I deserve to be here.
Right, trying to play like the big man on the beach when really it shouldn't be. And now it just got schooled in a poker hand.
Yes, exactly. All right, so let's keep going. The Brig has joined the N-Day tribe.
And this is our final pre-merge episode, the last person to be voted out before the jury convenes here, before the candidates convene.
All right, let's hope this is sans controversy would be nice.
Yes, exactly.
Let's hope that everything goes smoothly here. Finn tribe, what's going on with the Finn tribe? That idol remains hidden. No one has found it. Confidence Man still back-pocketing the Gallus tribe hidden immunity idol. It shall not walk alone. Lockdown has that legacy advantage. Anything new to report here with the alliances?
No, it'll come in after the challenge, I believe. This is just sort of a check-in as to how everything is.
Yes. You're so good at the Brant Steel, Mike. This really
it's pumping through my veins.
It really is. You've got Brant Steel in your veins for sure. Meanwhile, over at the N-Day tribe, Lighthouse has that hidden immunity idol.
Was able to somehow hold on to it for more than one tribal council this time.
Hasn't done anything with it. Is the Brig doing anything? Brig showed up. Brig's got that fake immunity idol in its pocket.
Yeah, and I guess it really depends. It's joining back up with Abandon, which had an alliance with
the sack in its back. They're like, what do you got in the sack? Like,
nothing.
Yeah,
the idol happens to be the size of a human body.
Yeah, the fake idol is a dead is John Locke's dead father in a bag. Let's proceed to the reward challenge. It's going to be a win for the Finn tribe. They win 10 pizzas and cold soda.
Oh, look at that! It's like they found a hatch full of pizzas and soda.
I can't really remember pizza ever being really a thing on Lost.
No, I can't really either. I'm trying to remember, even in the Sideways universe, it was more about the breakfast foods than it was about the
It's
lunchtime foods.
not a lot of pizza, a lot of
Like,
breakfast.
I don't think like Kimi was specializing in making pizza, you know?
Maybe it's a breakfast pizza. Have you ever had a breakfast pizza?
I have not.
It's good. You know, like if you could do like some interesting cheeses on there and some interesting meats and some eggs, it's not bad. I make great eggs.
Exactly. And I think also with the Economist dying, I think we still have There's No Place Like Home to represent and Gion, but I guess Kimi is slowly losing favor as an
Yeah,
image in this brand deal.
Kiwi wasn't even being thought of. Let's be honest here, Mike. Justin Sharkey notes that Jack gets a pizza for his fake kid in Lighthouse, which is still in contention here.
Which is
So,
really one of the bigger players this season right now.
Lighthouse is pissed that they did not get in on this pizza reward. All right, immunity challenge. Let's see who's going to Tribal Council here in episode 7, final Tribal Council before the merge. It's going to be the Finn tribe is going to Tribal Council. The
Oh,
NA
the
tribe
NA tribe.
wins immunity.
So that means question mark, abandon, lighthouse, the brig, the candidate, there's no place like home, and through the looking glass are all
safe
making
for
the merge here.
All safe for the merge, and I think that's good. This has been a really powerful crew. Lots of big players. I think we're ready to lose abandon. The candidate has been a hot mess. We love to see it. Lighthouse has just been going off.
Yeah.
If Lighthouse wins this whole thing, we just have to bow to Lighthouse as the best ending in Lost history for sure.
Yeah, and then you have sentimental favorites like There's No Place Like Home and Through the Looking Glass, and the brig just came back from exile, so luckily it's not going through that revolving door.
We're excited to see that fake idol make it into the merge. He's carrying that fake idol on his back into the merge. Over at the Finn tribe, no one has found this new idol. Ooh, a big fight between Exodus and Gion.
Ooh.
Meanwhile, Recon and Solitary are bonding slightly. Sawyer from Recon is telling Saeed from Solitary, did you see what they did to my old Alliance member, the Economist? That was one of your flashback episodes.
Yeah, that was one of your Saeeds. They took care of a Saeed.
We got to work together. And Saeed's like, oh,
if we don't work together, we're going to get voted out alone.
It's true. So that's interesting. There's a new alliance between Exodus, Solitary, and The Lie.
Interesting. Okay, so old tribe members from the NA tribe have come back together here right before the merge happens.
Okay, so let's see what's going to go on over at the NA tribe. Lighthouse has that idol, bonding ever so slightly with There's No Place Like Home. Meanwhile, There's No Place Like Home having a small fight with question mark. Again, question mark is just like going off.
Yeah, really, I would not be surprised to see question mark be our merge boot here.
That slow pan on question mark going insane. A real question mark in this game. Major fight between Abandoned and There's No Place Like Home, by the way. It has a lasting impact.
I mean, I can understand there's a lot of gunplay in these two episodes. So I can imagine there's a lot of firefight happening.
Okay, let's see what's going to happen over at Tribal Council. We're going to the Tribal Council. Final Tribal Council of the pre-merge.
Yeah, we have Confidence Man, Exodus, Gion, Lockdown, Recon, Solitary, and The Lie. Lots of interesting dynamics here, Josh. This might be one of our most interesting votes so far because we have this 3-person alliance of Confidence Man, Gion, and Solitary. Solitary is talking a bit with Recon. Lockdown and The Lie. Oh, actually, no, The Lie left Lockdown. Yeah. Love Lockdown, did not love Lockdown. So I feel like Lockdown might be in a tough spot here.
That's going to be pretty sad for Lockdown, who has been Finn Tribe strong all the way through. Is it Lockdown's destiny to be shut out of the merge? Blastor is just going to come right down in front of Lockdown before the merge. Confidence Man, let's not forget, has an idol. Is Confidence Man going to be confident enough to hang on to that idol heading into the merge? Let's see how this is all going to shake out. Confidence Man has that idol. If anyone has an idol, they'd like to play it, now's the time to do so.
Confidence Man has played the idol.
Smart.
Wants to guarantee it makes the merge.
Just make it to the merge. Confidence was there a little bit rattled. So it shall not walk alone tonight. Confidence Man is going to walk into the merge. Let's read the votes. First vote.
Lockdown.
One vote Lockdown. Second vote. Lockdown.
Oh no. We just talked about this.
It's 2 votes for Lockdown. Third vote. Recon.
Interesting.
2 votes Lockdown, 1 vote Recon.
Could Recon be spending some time in Ponderosa with the Economist, its partner?
Fourth vote. Recon.
Ooh, we're tied.
It's 2 votes Lockdown, 2 votes Recon. The 5th vote goes to Recon.
Ooh.
That's 5 votes Recon. Oh, I'm sorry. That's 3 votes Recon.
I mean, and I think it's going to be 5 votes Recon, 2 votes Lockdown.
Let's find out the 6th vote. Recon, the tribe has spoken. That's 5 votes Recon, 2 votes Lockdown. No, in fact, I'm thrilled. I think that the story of Recon and The Economist going back to back, it's beautiful. The love that sprouts on the pre-merge trip for Recon and The Economist. The Economist is going to be one of the enduring showmances in Lost Survivor history. So Confidence Man voted for Recon. Very confident man move to some Sawyer on Sawyer action.
Not only that, but also play the idol at the same time. From what it looks like, it seemed like those 3 former Gallus members in Confidence Man, Gion, and Solitary were really the decision makers here.
Yeah.
And they decided to stick together, and it looks like Recon and The Lie were the only 2 to vote for Lockdown. They were confident that they had the votes.
Wow.
Lockdown and it's Lockdown and Solitary. Yeah. Solitary threw a vote towards Recon,
which is impressive. Play from Solitary. What they weren't allowing themselves to hear the whispers of Recon. Recon was not getting in its ear as best as Recon tried. Mike, I think this is great because Recon should not have even played on this season. I think it proved that it has some game in it if it were to come back on a future season. But did not deserve to make the merge. And I know that that's controversial. What does deserve have to do with any of it? But I think like if Lockdown had gone instead of Recon, I think the fans would have been really upset.
I
know that this is the Ben Behind the Curtains winner pick, so apologies to the great Ben Martell. Recon going home here. This is a tough night.
Officer Recon is down here. But you know what? At least, this pre-merge, I will say, sufficiently less gut-wrenching than the Game Changers pre-merge. We did lose the end, and we did get the pilot medevac. But other than that, I do feel like a lot of the more bottom-tier picks ended up sort of falling by the wayside here.
All right, so let's talk about who has made it to the merge. It's Confidence Man. We shall not walk alone. Exodus is still here. Ji Yeon, who's been pretty quiet recently, but fake ghost Jin Kwan had a very strong start to this game and has made it to the merge. Lockdown is finally leaving.
Just surviving out of the skin of its teeth.
Lockdown has left Finn Beach and is joining the merge. Solitary, the whispers, are they starting to drive Solitary crazy or not? The Lie, the irascible, The Lie, Eloise Hawking makes it to the merge. Question mark, the even more irascible question mark making it to the merge.
I'm excited to have the 2 of them meet up because I don't think they ever have.
The Trigger Happy Abandoned is making it to the merge. Lighthouse,
Queen Lighthouse.
An electrifying player. I really do think the Sierra Dawn Thomas.
I really do too.
The end of Extinction. Lighthouse has made the merge. The Brig has made the merge. The Candidate Hot Mess Meltdown has made the merge. There's no place like home. That dead body is just being dragged into the merge and through the looking glass. We have to go back. Has made it to the merge. And here we are. We are currently 2 hours and 12 minutes into a fake Survivor simulation in which endings of Lost episodes are competing against one another in a simulated version of Survivor to determine which episode of Lost definitively has the greatest ending of all time as part of the 10-year anniversary of the end. Mike Bloom, is this or is this not the dumbest thing we've ever done at this point?
I mean, wholeheartedly, but I'm having so much fun with it. On that note, though, with the change in tribes, I need to change location really quick. So if you want to entertain our live audience while I make a transfer here.
I'm happy to do so. So Mike Bloom has momentarily left the Brant Steel. And if that's not a blind side, folks, I don't know it is. Some updates from the chat room. David Drum notes, my wife just caught me watching this ... That's very difficult. To David Drum's wife, what David Drum is currently watching is a Survivor simulation of the endings of 20 Lost episodes competing against one another to determine which episode ending is the greatest episode ending in all of Lost. That is what's going on here, just to make some sense of what's going on. Jaden James notes in the chat room, when people ask how my COVID isolation is going, I will just link them to this. Hard Rock Hope notes, I left the living room when my roommate came back to avoid having to explain this. Yeah, a lot is going on here in what I think is pretty hands down the most thoroughly ridiculous podcast I have ever been involved in. If you are just listening to the audio, I don't know how you've made it 2 hours ish into this podcast. You really want to be watching the video here, or you don't want to be watching at all, or you don't want to be listening at all. The live experience has been amazing. Hard Rock Hope notes, I have no shame, but also no words. No words to describe what's going on. I will take a moment to update you on some programming notes. If you are listening to this podcast on the Saturday that it has been released, it's the 10-year anniversary of the Lost series finale, and we are looking at a pretty exciting week at post-show recaps. We're up to the penultimate episode of Killing Eve. Jessica Leese and I have been podcasting about Killing Eve all season long. We're up to the penultimate episode of season 3. And Jess and I, earlier in the season, inspired by one of the characters eating a toffee eclair, purchased a bunch of candy from the UK to be shipped to us. And that candy has indeed arrived, at least at my house. And I will be eating candy on the Killing Eve podcast. So if you are concerned about ASMR, don't worry. We will be doing the taste test at the very end of that podcast, and you'll have plenty of time to tune out. Beyond the candy of it all, we have Everything is Super, the Marvel Cinematic Universe rewatch that is happening here on post-show recaps with myself and Kevin Mahadeo. We are moving on from phase 1, which we concluded with another Brant Steele. If you haven't just gotten enough Brant Steele survivor simulations in your life, let me tell you, Mike Bloom joined Kevin and I to do a Brant Steele of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's first phase. It was also ridiculous. I think had a very worthy winner and a very exciting robbed goddess. So you can check out that podcast. Kevin and I are going to be reaching Iron Man 3. We're starting phase 2 this week on the Everything is Super podcast. So keep an ear out for that. And then on Down the Hatch, Mike and I are going to be talking about Dave. Our journey through season 2 continues as we get to Dave in our next podcast.
Dave would have been a very interesting contestant in this season, considering that it would feel very duplicitous, right? Like you don't know where Dave sits because that's the infamous ending where Libby was seen in Santa Rosa and the jury's still out as to whether or not she was a patient there. So she would have been a really big wild card.
That would have been great. And we'll certainly make note of that in our Dave podcast, further alienating the Down the Hatch audience as we make reference to Survivor.
Yeah, nothing like a big 4-hour inside joke to really get your audience going.
Absolutely not. All right, Mike, with the merge on the menu, let's sit down, merge feast. But I think some people are going to have to sit out in order for the merge feast to happen. Isn't that right?
Yeah. Who do you think is most likely to sacrifice themselves for that?
Looking at this, I feel like through the looking glass,
I think the candidate could do it. I think the candidate could easily be like,
no, the
like
candidate's
much like
drama, too much drama for the candidate.
I feel like much like Saeed, took the bomb there. I feel like the candidate could easily do that here.
One of us is going to have to skip out on the feast. It's going to be me, Jack. Very, very possible. All right, let's see what's going to happen at the merge feast. Well, first of all, it's the Find a tribe.
Yeah, I combined the two, Finn and Enda, and then just repeated it much like Maku Maku did on the OG season.
Like, I don't know why this is the thing that I am responding to by saying, like, this is so stupid.
This is where you draw the line.
This is like where this is my line. The Find a tribe.
It's so much better when you say it.
It's the Find a tribe.
Find a.
That's my line. Everybody with me? Drinks on me. Hey, y'all, who you came with? Who you leaving with? All right, let's see who is going to be leaving the merge feast as everybody sits down to break bread in front of a pallet that dropped in the middle of the night. Actually, it seems like maybe everyone is just eating.
Yeah,
it seems like on Brant Steele, everyone gets to eat.
But look who's coming back together here. So we have all the way back from the OG days of the Finn tribe, Lighthouse, Lockdown, and Through the Looking Glass. From the OG,
back on the same page.
Yeah, from the OG days of the Enda tribe, Abandon, Exodus, Gion, and the Brig. I believe Recon, I think, was the only one that was missing there. Question mark, Confidence Man and Lighthouse are together. Confidence Man, Gion, and Solitary are together. Exodus, Solitary, and The Lie are together. There's just so much going on at once here,
Yeah,
Josh.
what's the point of even saying any of this? None of it's
No,
going to make any sense in a few minutes anyway. It doesn't make any sense right now. I think the thing to really look for, and the Ben Behind the Curtain notes this in our chat room, is Lockdown going to play the legacy advantage at this tribal council, because it has two shots on the legacy advantage. It's either now at 13 or holding until 6. So is that legacy advantage, which Lockdown found at the very beginning of the season, is that going to hold? Let's go to the first individual immunity challenge of the season. Let's see which ending is going to be safe from the vote at the merge vote here on Survivor, the end of Extinction. The Lie has one immunity.
Lie.
Wow, it's keep on your toes. You're standing on a wooden perch in a rectangular frame. This is an endurance challenge. And lo and behold, Eloise Hawking, Queen,
Makes
yes.
sense. I'm pretty sure she was holding a ball against a lamppost, so I think it was very much in her wheelhouse.
Yeah. Really, I got to be honest, pretty surprised that the Lie is our first immunity winner here in the Find a Tribe immunity challenge. I hate it.
It's so fun. It's so good.
I hate it. All right, let's see what's going on at the merge tribe. Find a. Lighthouse has that idol. Lockdown still has that legacy advantage. Mike Bloom losing his shit. Abandoned, impressing the rest of the team.
I could see that. I
think everyone's like, Anna, I mean, I cannot believe that you're still here.
Yeah. And she's like, you might not be here for long if I get trigger happy.
I think like some of the endings that result in the deaths of characters are probably fond of Abandoned. Like, oh yeah, that was, you're like us. We killed people too. Looking Glass candidate probably.
And it looks like one of our most recent alliances, Josh, the alliance between Exodus, Solitary, and The Lie has broken apart here.
Yeah, this is what I was saying. There's no reason to think that this was no reason to read any of this.
And I can imagine that The Lie also thinks like, I'm safe for the time being. Do I really need to, put in the effort to work with people?
Yeah, so who knows? All right, it's the first tribal council of the merge here. It's the Find a Tribe at tribal council. The Lie is immune. Lighthouse has an idol. Lockdown has the legacy advantage. It's going to play it. Let's find out. Let's see what's going on here. Lighthouse has that idol. Ooh, Lockdown just got a vote. It would appear that that Lockdown has not used the legacy advantage. The first vote goes to the driver's license of Minnesota's very own balloon enthusiast, Henry Gale. Second vote, Abandoned.
Oh, and it was just impressing everybody.
That's one vote Lockdown, one vote Abandoned. Third vote, Lockdown. That's two votes Lockdown, one vote Abandoned. Abandoned. That's two votes Lockdown, two votes Abandoned. I'll read the fifth vote. Lockdown.
Wow.
That's three votes Lockdown, two votes Abandoned. Lockdown.
Lockdown, what did you do?
That's four votes Lockdown, two votes Abandoned.
What are you doing, Lockdown?
The candidate. That's four votes Lockdown, two votes Abandoned, and one vote the candidate. The candidate.
Oh my goodness. Could this be a blindside on the candidate?
For the candidate. The candidate. That is 3 votes for the candidate.
This is when the candidate's looking shocked. Like it just saw a bomb.
The candidate. 4 votes to the candidate. That's the 10th vote. Goes to the candidate. 4 votes for the candidate. Merge vote blowing up as we speak, Mike.
I think this is the candidate's time.
The 11th vote goes to the candidate. That's 5 votes to the candidate. The 12th vote and player leaving is the candidate. The candidate is the merge boot, Mike.
Where did this come from?
Wow. Well, it didn't volunteer to sit out of the merge feast, but maybe we called it. It's going to be me, Jack. Saeed and the Kwans blowing up and drowning respectively here at the merge. It is the candidate that is going home at the merge. Wow, look at this. Who's voted for who? Question mark voted the candidate. Crazy question mark voted for the candidate. Confidence man voted the candidate. Ji-Yeon votes correctly. Ji-Yeon, fake ghost Jin, votes for actual ghost Jin.
I think it says there can only be one,
There can only be one ghost Jin. Lighthouse gets it right. Lighthouse and the candidate, they used to be a thing. Not anymore. Lockdown voted for the candidate. Solitary voted for the candidate. Saeed wants to rebel against his own fate, perhaps.
Maybe I think once the Economist left, like Solitary has just been on its own little path,
I know. Yeah. The Brig voted for lockdown. That's some lock on lock action. The candidate voted for abandoned. The Lie voted for lockdown.
Wow, the lie down is permanently over at this point.
Absolutely is. Through the Looking Glass voted for the candidate. The tribe has spoken. Is the candidate the first member of the jury, Mike?
Yes, the candidate is the candidate for the jury.
Okay.
The first person to make their way to Ponderosa here, sponsored by Ajira Airlines.
That's right. And so the candidate going back to back with Recon, could the tides be turning on season 6? There's only one season 6
so
episode
Lighthouse
left.
is its sole representative.
Lighthouse is trying to carry the torch for the 6th and final season of Lost, 10 years on. Are they going to be able to make it? What's going on in episode 9 at the Find a Tribe? Lockdown still has that legacy advantage. Legacy advantage could have been played. It looked very foolish for a moment that Lockdown didn't use that legacy advantage, Mike, but ultimately bared out to be the correct choice.
Yeah, though, I mean, we'll see. It has to make it to 6 to use it again. Otherwise, it's going to have to will it or bequeath it to the next person after it is voted out. It's also noteworthy to say that, once again, because there is an idol currently in the game via Lighthouse, no idols are currently hidden. So until Lightdown plays its idol, nobody else is going to find one.
So there are no idols to be found at the moment.
At the moment, exactly.
Is the word from our Brant Steele expert.
And I can imagine Ji-Yeon is like tearing this beach apart, looking for another panda bear.
Feels likely, and could be coming up empty. What's going on at the next reward challenge?
I believe, okay, so...
New school. So 2 tribe members are going to swim out, untie a net with fish puzzle pieces.
Oh, this is in Ji-Yeon's wheelhouse, I feel like.
After taking the net back to the shore, 2 other tribe members untie the puzzle pieces from the net, hang them on hooks, blah, 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 blah. It's a win for Abandoned, Confidence Man, Lighthouse, Solitary, the Brig, and Through the Looking Glass. Yes, Ji-Yeon was not powerful enough on its own to
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, once it handed things off to a question mark and the Lie, it was just all confusing on the puzzle, and so they completely fell apart. Abandoned, Confidence Man, Lighthouse, Solitary, the Brig, and Through the Looking Glass win a feast of burgers.
Yeah, a feast of burgers at the Ajira Airlines lounge. They're feasting.
Yeah, and they were promised guac and chips when they get there. Frank Lapidus replies, "We're not getting guac.
We're not getting any guac, are we?" Yeah. All right, so let's go. Mike, you okay? You all right?
I'm fine to find a tribe.
All right, let's see. Let's find out what's going to happen at this immunity challenge next. Let's proceed to the immunity challenge here. There's no place like home wins immunity. The cast
makes sense.
Hang on to a pole for as long as they can. The last person left hanging without touching the ground wins. And
it makes sense. When you are technically dead, you do a pretty good job of staying in one spot for a long time. And so I think there's no place like home had the advantage here.
They just like balanced the dead Jeremy Bentham by the core on the top of the pole.
Yeah, luckily rigor mortis had set in.
And he just like sort of like dangled, and everyone was like, well, how are we supposed to compete against the dead body?
Oh, you're a machine.
It's just hanging on by its core in this challenge. All right, so there's no place like home. A finale still representing wins immunity. Meanwhile, at the Find a Tribe, no idol is hidden, no idol to be found. Solitary and the Lie, they're bickering a little bit. We know that Saeed doesn't like liars. So makes sense that Solitary and the Lie
is the human lie detector, and he is detecting the hell out of the lie at this point.
What do we think the relationship between Saeed and Eloise Hawking would be? We don't really know. I guess like they interact maybe a little bit in the past, in the 70s.
Yeah, and a little bit.
Barely.
But that's also different Eloise Hawking. That's like shoot your son, Eloise Hawking, you know?
Meanwhile, Exodus is deciding to stage an exodus of its own, leaving its alliance with Abandoned, Ji-Yeon, and the Brig before Tribal Council. A provocative move, Mike.
I don't know how I feel about this, considering that how much power Ji-Yeon in particular holds with some of those former Galas members. I think Exodus made a mistake here.
I think so too. A rare misstep from one of the single greatest episodes in Lost history. As we go to the Find a Tribal Council, the candidate takes its seat on the jury bench. It's the ruined guttural remains of Saeed in a jar alongside
alongside the decapitated hands of Jin and Jun. Jin and Sun still holding hands.
Moving around like Thing from the Addams Family. Four hands plus a jar of goo takes a seat.
But they still only get one vote together.
Yeah, of course. It's just one vote. I mean, it's one ending.
The goo does the thinking and the hands do the voting.
So let's see what's going on. Lighthouse has an idol to play. That's the only business that could be accomplished here. Any predictions for what's going to go on here, Mike? Or are we just like,
I don't know. I think otherwise we can't be completely flying by the seat of our pants here. I think Exodus is the only one that I can imagine really getting its name out there.
Yeah, and Exodus is a big episode, and this is like the Ozzy spot, right? Of going home. So I could imagine Exodus getting it here. Exodus has had a really good run. It's impressive that 3 finales remain intact. Exodus, There's No Place Like Home, Through the Looking Glass are all still here. 3 of the heaviest hitters still on the board. So it's about time one of them gets hit. Let's find out what's going to happen here. Lighthouse, if you would like to play your idol, now would be the time to do so. Lighthouse uses the idol.
Wow.
The idol has been used. Lighthouse is going to play that idol on itself. Any votes cast against Lighthouse will
second idol played for Lighthouse. Well, actually, Lighthouse played the first one for question mark.
Isn't it the third idol?
Third idol total. Gion played one for itself. Lighthouse played one for question mark, doing that big combined tribal council, and now Lighthouse is playing one for itself.
Okay, all right. Let's see what's going on here. First vote. The Lie.
Ooh.
Second vote, Exodus. Yeah, that makes sense, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
1 vote, The Lie. 1 vote, Exodus. Third vote, The Lie. That's 2 votes, The Lie. 1 vote, Exodus. The Lie. That's 3 votes, The Lie. 1 vote, Exodus. Exodus. That's 3 votes, The Lie. 2
votes, Exodus. It's not looking good for Exodus.
The Lie. That's 4 votes, The Lie. 2 votes, Exodus.
6 votes left.
The Lie. That's 5 votes for The Lie. 2 votes for Exodus. Exodus. That's 5 votes for The Lie. 3 votes for Exodus.
4 votes left.
The Lie. 6 votes for The Lie. 3 votes for Exodus. The Lighthouse has officially played its idol for no reason.
Of course, in true Lighthouse fashion.
A terrible Squirrel Baby Mama play from Squirrel Baby Mama Lighthouse. 6 votes The Lie, 3 votes Exodus. I'll read the 10th vote. Exodus.
Oh, okay. So we're sitting 6 votes The Lie, 4 votes Exodus. Here's the thing. It takes 7 votes to go here. So even if 1 more vote of the remaining 2 goes to The Lie is gone here. Otherwise, we may be facing a 6-6 tie here, Josh.
Okay. I'll read the 11th vote. Exodus. At 6 votes The Lie, 5 votes Exodus. 1 vote left. The Lie, the tribe has spoken. Eloise Hawking has been sent packing to the jury bench. The Lie is
that was a close
second
one.
member of the jury. A vote of 7-5. The Ben behind the curtain notes that the Lions took out a hyena, and that was a good call.
Well, no, the hyenas took out the Lie.
Yeah. Wow. Palindromos notes that was close because Game Changers format goes straight to rocks, Mike. So we would have been going straight to rocks, no revote here if that had been a tie. But instead it's the Lie, the tribe has spoken.
Wow, super close. Exodus nearly got capped there after causing a bit of a ruckus and leaving its alliance.
All right. Tell me what your take is on this vote. They had a shot at Exodus, and now 3 finales remain in the game. Was this a missed opportunity? Were they too spooked by the fact that Eloise Hawking improbably had won immunity earlier in the season?
I mean, it's a good point. Like, you don't want her to go on a run. You feel like if you give her just a little bit of, for lack of a better term, wiggle room, she'll
Yes.
be able to take advantage of that. Scroll through these votes though, because I'm very intrigued to see who voted for who here.
Okay, so question mark and abandoned and Exodus. Sorry, question mark and abandoned voted for Exodus. Obviously, the lie voted for Exodus. The Brig voted for Exodus as well. Everybody else, and there's no place like home voted for Exodus. That's some finale on finale crime.
Crime.
Everybody else voted for the lie.
Okay. Interesting. So I do feel like this again, this like Gallus alliance of Solitary and Geon and Confidence Man is like holding pretty strong. Like they're making some good decisions here for being only 3 votes out of
Like
now 11 at this point. Like they're doing some stuff.
through the looking glass. All right, let's go to the next episode, episode 10. I feel like we're missing some real drama with the lie gone. I'm kind of sad to lose
Mm,
Eloise Hogging, but her Ponderosa video was lit.
yeah, absolutely. And you know what? We did lose the candidate, which is a bit of a drama queen. We do still have a question mark, which is still a question mark in terms of the game, but definitely not an exclamation point in terms of interpersonal stuff. And knowing Gion, once it has a little bit of power in its hands, it's going to completely throw it away at some point. So I cannot wait for that other shoe to drop, as it were.
Okay, so let's see what's going to happen here. What's going on at Finda? The idol, it's hidden. No one has found it. Lighthouse shouldn't have played that idol. Lockdown still has that legacy advantage. Anything new on alliances?
Does not look like it at the moment. Oh, it looks like things have completely winnowed down at this point. We have an alliance between Lighthouse, Lockdown, and Through the Looking Glass, an alliance between Abandoned, Geon, and the Brig, an alliance between Question Mark, Confidence Man, and Lighthouse, and Confidence Man, Geon, and Solitary. So Geon and Confidence Man and Lighthouse
They're
are really like
yeah.
they're the ones that are locked in with multiple people here.
I think a really impressive game from Gion. That Gion had such a strong physical game at the start. Maybe they're still happy that they're being fed by the fake ghost of Jin Quan. You got to eat. You got to eat out there on the island.
Right, and I think that it's a tale of two different stories, much like Gion was. It's sort of a bit of a more contentious time pre-merge, but post-merge, it's really been coming into its own.
Smooth sailing. All right, let's see what's going to happen with this reward challenge. It's two groups competing.
I believe this was the famous Suri balance beam challenge.
That's right. That's right. This is the balance beam challenge. So there's going to be some trouble for the who's the Suri Fields of this group.
You'd have to imagine it's probably locked down because
I would say it's probably there's no place like home. A dead body is going to have a lot of trouble going across the balance beam.
Or a really easy team depending on who throws him.
Yeah, so everybody is looking, everyone's cheering the dead body of Jeremy Bentham on. Like, you can cross that balance beam, Jeremy. You can do it.
This challenge is over, but you know what? You better cross it, Jeremy.
We'll
stay here until you drag your carcass across.
This is the best of the best endings of Lost episodes competing against each other. We will stay here all day until you cross that balance beam. So, like, a week passes.
Yeah, exactly. And they realize, oh, wait, he's a dead body.
Dead. It's rigor mortis.
And so it's safe to say that his group does not win. Gion, Lighthouse, Solitary, the Brig, and Through the Looking Glass win a little picnic. Josh, picnic.
Picnic is never good on Lost, as we've established in our most recent podcast with Lockdown. You never want to go on a picnic on Lost.
And also, there was a secret advantage located under the bench that Abandoned
might have found it. Yeah,
it could have found it. And there was actually an Easter egg where if you froze the screen at that particular minute mark, you could read all the messages that were scrawled on the tube that the advantage was contained in. But everyone looked it over.
Yeah, and you would have thought that maybe Abandoned would have found that secret advantage as it was coming out of the the sit out bench. The sit out.
Do you think Ana Lucia yelled "coming out" when she was done with the challenge?
Coming out. Of the sit-out bench and the sit-out hatch. And
was that like her Penner Denise moment?
Yeah, Denise. All right, let's see what's happening at the immunity challenge. There's no place like home. Won the most recent immunity challenge. Is there any momentum from just hanging out on its balance beam as a dead body? No, but Abandoned is coming out to win.
Able to conserve some energy there from sitting out the reward challenge. This was the one that you had to stack the blocks while holding onto the unstable table. And as we know, Ana Lucia is never shaky when it comes to her aim, so it makes sense.
Her hand steady. So Abandoned, after sitting out of the reward challenge, is the winner of immunity here in episode 10, safe from the vote here at Tribal Council in the 10th episode of Survivor, the end of Extinction, in which the endings of lost episodes
this is very appropriate for a podcast, right? You recap what the podcast is in the middle of the podcast.
I just have to keep saying it out loud. Otherwise, I won't believe that it's real. All right. What's going on over at Find-A-Find-A? Back at Find-A-Find-A Beach. Lockdown still has that legacy advantage. Lighthouse and Through the Looking Glass find something in common. They are both Jack episodes.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Also, Lockdown is impressing the rest of the team.
Yeah, Lockdown's impressing the rest of the team. Meanwhile, Question Mark and Exodus, big time fight.
Well, that makes sense because, Exodus was where we lost Walt, and Question Mark is where we see Walt in a questionable way. And so I think they're sort of coming to a misunderstanding as to what the hell did you do with this character?
Yeah, so Michael Michael's on a razor's edge in both episodes. So it's like kind of maybe Michael's internal conflict is coming to the fore here in episode 10. Meanwhile, it's tribal council time. Let's find out what's going to happen at the third Find-A tribal council of the season. Eloise Hawking taking a seat on the jury bench
next to the goo and
the four Quan hands clutching the goo, the Jara of goo. And Eloise Hawking cleans up nice, Mike. She looks fantastic.
Oh, she's got a glow up. She's got a Ponderosa glow up.
I guess anyone next to the four severed hands of the Quan and the Jara of glue.
Let's be real. If you don't look good compared to a jar of Saeed's goo, you don't deserve to be on this season.
Anyone still listening? Is anyone still out there? All right, tribal council. There's no idol to play. And the legacy advantage cannot be played. So this is just going to be a straight vote, Mike. And how many people are left? There's 11 people right now. Okay, so let's see what's going to happen with 11 people. Somebody is about to become juror number 3. First vote, the Brig. One vote, the Brig. Second vote, the Brig.
Ooh, here comes that chain.
So the third vote is going to go to the Brig. That's 3 votes for the Brig. No votes for anybody else right now. Fourth vote. There's no place like home.
There's a little bit of symmetry for John Locke carrying a dead man in one picture and him being the dead man in the other picture.
Either way, we're talking about a dead member of the Locke family in danger right now. Fourth vote goes to There's No Place Like Home. That's 3 votes for the Brig. 1 vote for There's No Place Like Home. 2 votes for There's No Place Like Home.
We might see a finale fall here, Josh.
That's 3 votes for There's No Place Like Home. 3 votes, There's No Place Like Home. 3 votes for the Brig. 7th vote. There's no place like home.
Wow. 4 votes left.
The 8th vote. There's no place like home. That's 5 votes for There's No Place Like Home. 3 votes for the Brig. 9th vote.
That's it.
The 9th vote and player leaving is There's No Place Like Home. Jeremy Bentham, the tribe has spoken.
It gets in a helicopter and takes off for the Ajira Airways Ponderosa.
With a real effort, they are lugging that dead body out of tribal council. There's No Place Like Home is juror number 3, and the first finale to fall since the end.
Wow. And this is, I'll be very intrigued. This was a surprising vote. Maybe this is a bit of a post-merge where, like, as soon as you pop up, that's when you get nailed down. Win immunity left the next episode, and There's No Place Like Home win immunity left the next episode.
Yeah. So is abandoned in danger for the next tribal council? We could assume so if the pattern is to hold. There's No Place Like Home gets voted for by question mark. Abandoned is coming out to vote for There's No Place Like Home. Confidence Man votes No Place Like Home. Exodus, some finale on finale violence. Ji-Yeon votes There's No Place Like Home. Lighthouse voted There's No Place Like Home. Lockdown voted for the Brig. The Brig obviously voted for There's No Place Like Home. Solitary voted There's No Place Like Home. It was Lockdown and There's No Place Like Home and Through the Looking Glass.
Oh, Through the Looking Glass, looking at some finale solidarity here.
Yeah, Solidarity voted for.
And you know what it might have been, though? I feel like There's No Place Like Home was sort of like snooping through the jungle mercenary style and saw that the Brig had a big duffel bag of something and said, I think that might be an idol. So, like, let's throw some votes onto the Brig. If it plays its idol, what the heck ever, but it might be a fake. And I think they just sort of got caught in their ruse here. They made a last minute gambit and it just did not work for There's No Place Like Home.
Mike, it's a real shame. The Brig having gone to the Black Rock earlier in the season and forging the fake hidden immunity idol in the form of his dead father, Anthony Cooper, really could have played that to the max. And I think just pretty disappointing that instead he just ends up gut shot here as the third juror. The Brig has been wiped out of the game.
No, There's No Place Like Home is taken out.
That's true. Sorry. There's No Place Like Home has gone home. The Brig remains intact. The dead body is it's hard to know how the dead body of Jeremy Bentham is going to vote here.
Well, I think this jury bench is getting more and more weird. Poor Eloise Hawking is now stuck with a dead man and body parts.
All right, we'll talk about that in a little bit. The Find a Tribe has been whittled down to 10. It's question mark, abandoned, Confidence Man, Exodus, Geon, Lighthouse, Lockdown, Solitary, The Brig, and Through the Looking Glass, all still holding strong here. Mike, who was your winner pick going into this?
Exodus.
So Exodus and Through the Looking Glass, mine. They remain alive. All right, let's see what's happening over at Find. Lockdown still has that legacy advantage. There's no idol that has been found, though it remains hidden.
Yep.
Right?
No major deviations and alliances, it seems.
Alliances still seem normal. Let's see what's going on. The reward challenge. Two groups competing.
Ooh, angry chair.
Yeah. Two groups competing for a luxury resort with a meal and an overnight stay. That group that's going to win is question mark, abandoned, Confidence Man, Lockdown, and Through the Looking Glass.
Did they make a trip to Jacob's cabin? Is that where the spa is?
That's right. So they're all hanging out at Jacob's cabin.
What that's the angry chair. That's the angry chair. That's the one that Christian Shepherd's sitting in.
Yes, the angry chair. That is what's going on over at No Secret Advantage has been found as well. The Secret Advantage remains in play. The episode 11 immunity challenge. Who is going to win?
Listen, considering the curse that's been happening, the necklace is bad apparently. So I hope that Abandoned wins.
Abandoned is going to want to hope like hell that they are going to be able to win immunity. Let's find out. Solitary wins immunity. Saeed Jarrah has shown up. The contestants must stack wooden blocks along a platform. It's the dominoes challenge. And I don't know if Solitary had feasted on pizza.
No, that makes sense. You know what? Because it had the tripwires from Danielle Rousseau, so it makes sense as to like high stepping it.
Used to it at this point. Fool me once. Shame on me. All right, what's happening back at Find a Beach? That idol remains buried. No one has found it.
I can imagine maybe some people think that the Brig does indeed have an idol, and so they're disincentivized to look for any.
Looking Glass freaking out a little bit, that a finale has just been taken out and There's No Place Like Home. Looking Glass wants to try and being on the wrong side of that vote too. Looking Glass is trying to make some friends. So a little bit of something in common with Geon, slight bond with Abandoned right now, Mike.
And it looks like Lighthouse has left behind its bond with Through the Looking Glass and Lockdown. Lighthouse, after playing that idol, has struck out on its own.
This feels like a bad time for Lighthouse to be freelancing.
I mean, to be fair, Lighthouse has made nothing but questionable moves so far, and it's worked out pretty well for them somehow.
I guess it's worked out for the squirrel baby mama to do what she's done so far in the game on her quest to be the best ending of any Lost episode in the history of Lost, as determined scientifically by a Brant Steele survivor simulation. All right, it's time for Tribal Council. There's no idol to play, so once again, we are talking about a Tribal Council where it's just going to be a straight vote. So let's find out what's going on. If anyone has a hidden immunity idol and they'd like to play it, now is the time to do so. There is no idol to play. I'll read the votes. First vote, question mark.
Makes sense. Rabble rouser.
About time. Second vote, Looking Glass.
Ooh.
Third vote, Lockdown.
Oh.
That's one vote, question mark, one vote, Looking Glass, one vote, Lockdown. Fourth vote, Looking Glass.
No. We have to go back and change the votes.
2 votes for Looking Glass. Lockdown. 2 votes Lockdown, 2 votes Looking Glass. I'll read the sixth vote. Question mark.
Oh.
That's 2 votes Lockdown, 2 votes Looking Glass, 2 votes question mark. Seventh vote, Lockdown. That's 3 votes Lockdown, 2 votes question mark, 2 votes Looking Glass. Question mark. That's how many votes for question mark?
3 votes.
That's 3 votes for question mark 3.
I think so. I think
it's 3 question mark 3 lockdown, 2 looking glass. If I'm remembering right, there's a lot going on. I'll read the 9th vote.
Question mark.
10th vote. Lockdown. The 10th and final vote goes to lockdown. The final vote count: 4 votes. Question mark. 4 votes. Lockdown. 2 votes through the looking glass.
Ooh, this is a tie, baby.
Ooh.
Tie between question mark and lockdown.
Does that mean we're going to Black Rocks?
I don't know if they directly do this here. They might have to do a revote.
Does that mean Looking Glass is just in trouble here? Let's find out. Abandoned.
Oh no, we're going to Rocks.
Exodus, Geon, Lighthouse, The Brig, Through the Looking Glass. Are we going to Black Rocks here?
We're going to Black Rocks between one of these 7 episodes, including Through the Looking Glass, which got 2 votes, was not directly involved in the tie, are going to draw Black Rocks here. Question mark and lockdown automatically safe by being part of the tie.
Wow. And over at the jury bench, the 4 hands of the Kwans are shaking so much that the gelatinous jarrah of Saeed is quivering. Eloise Hawking did not see this one coming.
Oh my God.
Which is a shock considering
I'm
her
so nervous.
knowledge. Oh my gosh. Jeremy Bentham is just dead, so has no reaction whatsoever. All right, let's find out who is going to draw the Black Rock mic. Through the Looking Glass. The tribe has spoken. Wow.
I
Looking Glass has been rocked out of the game, is regretting a lot. We have to go back. We have to go again.
And it's grown this fantastic island beard at this point. It's got a bandage on its head from a medical consultation beforehand. So I guess of all the ways to go out, Through the Looking Glass to go out in a big, epic rock draw fashion after getting 2 votes at that tribal council. I guess I would rather have it be a episode that got votes at tribal council rather than it just being like a random episode.
I suppose. I'm heartbroken. That's my winner pick. I think we could say Looking Glass, We Have to Go Back has to be the best ending actually in the history of Lost.
I mean, it's such a game changer in so many ways.
I think how could it be anything else? It's Looking Glass for sure. Looking Glass has been rocked out of the game. Jack Shepard getting wasted at Ponderosa.
And Ben Linus getting wasted by getting beat up.
Oh, man. I guess it isn't the best ending in Lost history, though, because it's the 4th juror now. So it can't count.
Well, let's see how things shook out there. What led to Through the Looking Glass drawing the Black Rock here? So question mark voted for Through the Looking Glass.
All right. So I think it's instructive to think of who voted for question mark, who voted for lockdown. So Abandoned came out for lockdown or for question mark. Confidence Man, Exodus, Geon were all in lockstep against lockdown. Lighthouse voted for Looking Glass. So it was Lighthouse and question mark that voted for Looking Glass.
True to like their very independent natures, right?
Lockdown voted for question mark. Solitary voted lockdown. The Brig voted for question mark. Through the Looking Glass voted for question mark. Through the Looking Glass.
So
robbed.
Yeah. So basically, this Galas trio tried to recruit the numbers against lockdown, and it was only successful for one person. And as a result, it forced this 4-4-2 tie and made lockdown safe as a result.
Okay. So Through the Looking Glass is gone, which leaves only one finale left in the game. Exodus is still in contention alongside.
I'm not mad at it.
Question mark, Abandoned, Confidence Man, Geon, Lighthouse, Lockdown, Solitary, and The Brig. It is starting to get a little bit game changery in here, I think, Mike. How many of these endings really deserve to be here? And I'll be the prognosticator who says that. I don't care. At me, Survivor lost the end of Extinction Reddit. I don't give a shit. I don't even care. This is an unworthy post-merge crew.
I can't
Exodus deserves this. Exodus deserves it. Lockdown should still be in this. But who else?
Maybe Geon could deserve. I just can't wait for all the Reddit threads that are just question mark in it. And just the comments are all question mark. It really is the Yule Quan of this group.
Yeah. It's just
even though the Quans are in Geon.
An update that we are closing in on 3 hours. Still 46 people watching this live, so it's an appropriate.
I thought you said there's still 46 people left in the game, which seems appropriate.
46 people left in game. The Find a tribe. No idol has been found. Lockdown has the legacy advantage. Mike Bloom has lost his shit. Reward challenge. Let's see what's going on in the reward challenge. It's a bunch of groups are going in some rope obstacle shit, some nonsense with the ropes. Some ropes are happening. Jess Sterling notes that Josh has truly lost, and she's not wrong.
We never found it.
And lost. Let's see who's going to win.
Abandoned
Lighthouse, and Solitary. An awkward trip with Ana Lucia.
Ooh, and I believe this is the family visit.
Ooh, is that right?
Yeah, so this is, remember, these were the trios competed, and then they brought 2 people along.
Oh, wow. Okay, so Abandoned, Lighthouse, Solitary, Ji-yeon, and the Brig are all getting some love.
So Abandoned, are we going by the flashback characters? Because Abandoned would be like Sabrina Carlyle. Lighthouse would
Sabrina Carlyle is hanging out with Shannon's dead body and Ana Lucia, who just killed Shannon. So
they're like high-fiving.
Yeah, well, Ana Lucia is feeling a little bit better about it because Sabrina's talking a bad game. Claire gets to see her squirrel baby.
Yes, it gets dragged out. Solitary, it's got to be. Is it Nadia or is it Danielle?
Yeah, it's Nadia. Saeed
and then Nadia.
Nadia
no, you know what it is? Nadia walks in, gets like completely sideswiped, and then Shannon walks in.
Yeah. Ji-yeon. Is it fake ghost Jin is reunited with future son?
Yeah, could be a thing.
Sure.
Then the Brig has got to be Anthony Cooper, right?
Yeah, but he's also still dead. So he's got the dead Anthony Cooper.
Yeah, he comes out of the bag and visits John Locke.
All right, barbecue reward. Enjoy, everybody. Y'all deserve it. The Brig wins immunity. Buoyed by love with some closure after killing the actual Tony Coops and throwing him on his back. The Brig goes into this immunity challenge and wins immunity, Mike.
I mean, good on the Brig. It got, a few votes last time, so I think it only makes sense, or maybe 2 times ago, so it only makes sense that it wants to stay safe here. And luckily, Abandon broke the curse last time of the immunity winner going out of the game. So, I mean, really anything can happen here. I just say we look towards this 3-person Galas Tribe alliance and basically see the decisions that they make, because it really does seem like, for the most part, whoever they decide to leave goes.
Okay, let's see what's going to happen back at the Find a Tribe. That idol is still hidden. No one has found it.
I mean, I think people are just so focused on the chaos going on that they don't necessarily see the forest for the trees, as it were.
Ji-yeon is impressing everybody, so much so that Ji-yeon and Lockdown have found something in common, Mike.
That's good. Well, Lockdown was nearly going last time, and Ji-yeon voted against Lockdown, so maybe they have a bit of a change of heart.
They've had a little bit.
It looks like, Josh, a new alliance is forming in the post-merge here. Exodus, Lockdown, and the Brig.
I love this alliance.
This is a fun alliance.
Exodus, Lockdown, and the Brig carry this to the top. This is a good crew. This is a squad. It's a 4-4-5 loyalty, so the loyalty's a little thin. I don't know that I love that. But like, if this is something that's like going to form late in the season of a threesome of Exodus, Lockdown, and the Brig, that could be pretty good.
Yeah, this is the one that I think could be a formidable opponent to the Confidence Man G on Solitary combination.
And I like that alliance too, I guess.
Yeah. It's very much, it's more of a middling pack, none of those endings are particularly strong, but none of them are like as outwardly okay than some of these others.
All right, so let's talk about this tribal council. We're going in ? Abandoned, Confidence Man, Exodus, Ji-yeon, Lighthouse, Lockdown, and Solitary, all vulnerable. Meanwhile, the Brig is wearing the Anthony Cooper on his back. He is protected.
The chain necklace.
Yeah, he's got the chain ropes wrapped around his own neck. He has immunity, so he is safe. The jury shows up the Quan hands with the Jarrah of Saeed in a Jarrah.
Eloise Hawking, John Locke's dead body.
Dead body. And Jack, he shaved. Man, he shouldn't have shaved. He looks weird, like too emaciated.
Oh, either that or it's the parachuter with the knife in her back.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's Naomi. Naomi said, "No, we have to go back, Jack." And he has to go back to Ponderosa and grab a fake beard and put that on because he looks weird.
No, just go to the staff.
Go to the staff.
The time of theatrical glue.
And glue a beard. He's like, "I'd like my beard back." Maybe he left his beard on the beach.
Ooh, and then Question Mark comes and brings it back to him.
Brings it back to him, glues it on his face. Nicest thing Question Mark has done all game. All right, let's see how these votes are going to go down. There's no idol to play, Mike. First vote, Solitary.
Oh.
Second vote. Question mark. Ooh, they don't like the jury pandering from question mark.
No. See right through it.
Okay. Third vote. Solitary. It's 2 votes solitary.
Ooh, this could be the end of the Galas Tribe Alliance. They could have gotten sought out here.
Fourth vote. Solitary. That's 3 votes solitary. 1 vote question mark. Read the fifth vote. Lockdown.
Okay, it has to be a tribal council if Lockdown's getting votes.
Lockdown has a vote. 3 votes solitary. And what is that? 1 vote question mark? Yeah, 1 vote question mark. 1 vote question mark.
3-1-1.
3 votes solitary. 1 vote lockdown. Sixth vote. Lockdown. 2 votes lockdown. Ay. All right.
Oh, no.
Seventh vote. Lockdown.
Okay.
3 votes lockdown.
3 votes lockdown. 3 votes solitary. 1 vote for question mark. 2 votes left.
Nervous for our boy Henry Gale.
I know.
8th vote goes to lockdown. That's 4 votes lockdown.
So again, if this next vote goes to vote goes to solitary, then lockdown has avoided fate yet again, and we'll have another rock draw.
All right, let's see what's going to happen here. Lockdown.
No,
they
did not want it to happen.
Spoken. A bummer as Lockdown Henry Gale balloons out of the game
with the smiley face is very sad.
Oh, the saddest. That smile is wiped off.
I mean, Lockdown after a while, nobody really knew where its loyalties lied. It promptly got pinned up against the wall and shown what was happening. I thought that this might have been the time for the Galas trio to get broken up since Solitary got a few votes. Maybe they got a few votes from its enemy trio here. We shall see.
Yeah, this is sad. Jess Sterling in the chat room asks us, where does this rank among Ben's beatdown rankings? This has to be number 1. The new number 1 is getting voted out as juror number 5 here and being outed.
I think also Through the Looking Glass, which finished previously, had one of the biggest Ben literal beatdowns.
The Ben Behind the Curtain appropriately notes that Lockdown just didn't manage its threat level well enough. I think got a little complacent, a little arrogant. Felt like it knew what it was doing.
And then it started getting angry.
Question mark voted for Lockdown. Confidence Man voted Lockdown. Ji-yeon voted Lockdown. Lighthouse voted correctly, voted Lockdown. Solitary.
So it really does look like that that alliance that you love so much, Josh, of Exodus, Lockdown, and the Brig tried to turn the votes onto Solitary, and it just didn't work. The target was too big on Lockdown's back.
All right. Well, we love an underdog. So let's hope that that Exodus can pull this out.
That Brigsidus will be able to get this to happen.
Yeah, that Brigsidus has some that that Jack and Lock combo. Can they work together? Let's find out. So Lockdown had the legacy advantage and has willed the legacy advantage to the Brig.
Okay.
The Brig is currently carrying a fake immunity idol
in the form of Anthony Cooper,
an actual immunity necklace chain that is no longer valid, and a legacy advantage.
Wow.
As we're proceeding into the game. Meanwhile,
that's DK Briggan.
He's looking good. All right, let's go to episode 13 is going to be a 2-parter, right? We're going to have a couple of tribal councils here in episode 13. Van Coro asks, "Is that the sweet milk water bottle, Mike?" Indeed,
it is. It's my water bottle that Josh during the Top Chef podcast thought was a quote unquote sweet milk bottle.
Can you just hold that up to the camera really quickly for the people who are watching the video version of this podcast? Doesn't that kind of look like a sweet milk? It looks like a sweet milk.
The sweet milk is the weirdest thing I've heard you say, and I've heard you say finda about 20 times in the past
I just
hour.
imagine you may be a guy who enjoys a sweet milk. Who knows?
What does that mean?
A milk that's a little bit sweet.
I don't typify milks by their sweetness.
It's just like a sweet milk. I don't know.
Sweet milk sounds like something out of Game of Thrones, like I give you a sweet milk, my dear child.
Yeah, it's the sweet milk. Yeah. A lot of people are confused about the sweet milk.
Yeah, people are very confused about the term sweet milk.
Yeah. Oh, the Ben Behind the Curtain asks, "Is Wigler calling Bloom an adult baby?"
I don't understand the question, and I will not respond to it.
Of course not. Mike's an adult.
At least my winner pick's still in.
All right. Oh, okay. All right. Let's see what's going on. Finda. Brig has that legacy advantage. An alliance between Abandoned, Ji-yeon, and the Brig is pretty tight. There's a relatively tight...
that's the thing, is that the Brig at least has some outs, right, with Abandon and Ji-yeon. And question mark still in with Confidence Man and Lighthouse. We still have that Galas Tribe Alliance that I think is the strongest one of the game at this point, of Confidence Man, Ji-yeon, and Solitary. And I believe that Exodus and the Brig are still together.
What are we talking about, though? What is any of this?
What is any of this?
We're 3 hours into this. We've got people in the chat room saying, "Give me the sweet milk. Give me the bitter milk." Like, what's happening right now?
You think Ben asked for sweet milk at the end of the whole tooth?
Yeah. You guys have any sweet milk?
Bernard's like, all right, we're going to check out your cavities.
Yeah, clearly I have a new patient.
Are you drinking too much sweet milk?
Yeah, you don't want to drink any of that sweet milk. All right,
well, sweet milk. No, get it. Sweet milk is the definition of like when you have a sugary cereal and that milk is left over. That's the sweet milk.
That's the sweet milk. That's the sweet.
So
milk.
yes, to answer your question, I do not have runnings from.
You don't have sweet cereal milk in your water.
I don't keep it on hand. No.
All right. Okay. All right. So an immunity challenge is coming next. Let's see. The Brig just won immunity. Can the Brig go back to back? The Brig cannot, but Lighthouse wins immunity.
Ooh,
Lighthouse doesn't even like being vulnerable. So Squirrel Baby Mama's gonna win this one.
I mean, it makes sense. The challenge is called Teeter Tower. The Lighthouse is a tower, so I think it's a natural fit.
That's right. That is correct. All right. So good for you, Lighthouse. You have a terrible ending, but I have to applaud your game so far. You're really doing your best here.
Yeah, and I'm very surprised that Lighthouse did not find a third idol, though. I guess I'm putting my chickens before they hatch.
All right, let's see what's back at Find a Beach. Look at that. Confidence Man.
Second idol find of the season.
Idol of the game. Confidence Man has been pretty confidently quiet here in the post-merge.
It really is running the long con here, right? Like maybe it got caught with the suitcase of money falling out at a certain point when it played its idol, and now it is like quickly amassed funds, and now it is back to being in a proper place. It's in that Galas 3.
Yeah. Okay. So Confidence Man has that idol. The Brig has that legacy advantage. People remain deeply impressed by Gion. I think they're like, it's just really impressive that you've managed to like endear yourself to us when you're a fake ghost. When you're just like,
yeah. Usually I'm spooked by. Usually I need Hurley or Miles to talk to ghosts, but right now Gion and I are getting on in a different wavelength entirely.
Yeah. So Gion, fake ghost, Jinquan, impressing the team. Abandoned and the Brig are bonding slightly with a lasting impact, Mike.
Interesting, because I believe they're in the alliance with Gion. So they're sort of like a third-wheeling Gion at this point.
Okay, so let's proceed. Let's see what's going to happen at Tribal Council. Let's do that thing.
Only 8 people left here.
A little bit smaller so we don't tip the hand of the vote. We're going to Tribal Council. Only 8 people left, as Mike notes. There is an idol in play.
Yeah, Confidence Man has an idol, and Lighthouse is immune right now. And with an even number, we could go to Black Rocks once more.
Oh my God. All right. Let's see what's going to happen here. Confidence Man has that idol. Confidence Man is not going to play that idol. I'll read the first vote. And it goes to Question Mark. Question Mark has just been electromagnetic vote energy here.
Yeah, its feelings are hurt.
Its feelings has no feelings. It's just a question. It's just an episode. All right. The Question Mark gets 1 vote. Second vote. Solitary.
Could this be Brigsidus trying to go for it again?
All right, the third vote. Third vote, Solitary. That's 2 votes for Solitary, 1 vote for Question Mark. The Brig. That's 1 vote for the Brig.
Is the Brig going to have to give away that legacy advantage right when it found it?
1 vote Brig, 2 votes Solitary, 1 vote Question Mark. The Brig, that's 2 votes.
Wow.
For the Brig.
Yeah, this is not doing well for the friends of Lockdown.
That's 3 votes for the Brig, Mike.
Yeah, that's it. That's it for the Brig.
The Brig, the tribe has spoken. The Brig, the tribe has spoken. The Brig just got robbed, walking out with Anthony Cooper on his back.
Well, do you think the Brig tried to play the idol and Richard Alpert threw it into the fire?
Yeah, he threw the body into the fire. Good point. So Anthony Cooper's rotting, smoking corpse permeating Tribal Council with its stench as John Locke walks out empty-handed. That was 5 votes for the Brig, 2 votes Solitary, 1 vote for.
So we're about to see. I can imagine that the Brigsidus duo voted for Solitary again, just really trying to gun for that Galas trio. Abandoned voted for Question Mark. Abandoned sort of has been off on its own. Yeah. I feel like it's been sort of abandoned in terms of allies because it was also working with the Brig up to this point.
Self-abandoned. Hard Rock Hope notes that if people knew the Brig had the legacy advantage, then that would be the Brig's own fault. I got to agree. Hard to disagree with Hard Rock Hope on that one.
Yeah, exactly. The question is, who will the Brig? Will the Brig give the legacy advantage to Exodus, or will it spurn Exodus and give it to somebody else?
Well, that would be I think the Brig would have a lot to answer for in exit press if the Brig is not going to give that legacy advantage. to Exodus. And it's not. It's not. The Brig is giving the legacy advantage to Abandoned.
It just had a moment with it, like they were just.
Is this due recompense for what Locke did to Boone? Is this due recompense to Shannon? This is like,
wait,
mea culpa. I got your brother killed. I know you're dead. I'm kind of dead on the jury. Version of me is dead. Here's the legacy advantage. Maybe Shannon, you can do something with this.
Well, I am actually now really impressed with Abandon, because here's the thing. Abandon knew the Brig was going, and Abandon knew the Brig had the legacy advantage. So Abandon threw a vote to question mark to be like, I don't know what happened. I didn't believe it. We're looking at Anna Lucina here, Josh. Someone playing a masterful game to get that legacy advantage in their pocket.
Is starting to come out. Wow. Okay. Anna Lucina has that legacy advantage. Playing like a cat, playing like a criminal here. Let's proceed. Only 7 people left in the game. Question mark. Abandoned. Confidence Man. Exodus. Gion Lighthouse. And Solitary, Mike.
What a motley crew.
What a freaking crew. This is a very Brant Steely crew of Lost episode endings. One of them, Mike, is the best ending in the history of Lost, as determined in this very mathematical survivor simulation fashion. All right, let's see what's going over on at Finda. Abandoned has that legacy advantage. Confidence Man has that hidden idol. Really tepid alliance with Abandoned and Gion, Mike.
Yeah, considering that Abandon did not vote Gion's way, I can imagine that information comes back. Plus, Gion has bigger fish to fry. Right. It's working with Confidence Man and Solitary, which they have been very much in lockstep. But Confidence Man has sort of been double dipping a bit in true Sawyer nature, working with Question Mark and Lighthouse too. So Confidence Man, I'll be honest, I think Confidence Man stands a good chance of winning the game at this point. I think Confidence Man has many outs and an idol in their pocket.
All right, well, let's see. We're getting to the next immunity challenge here in episode 13. And who is going to win it? Gion wins immunity. It's that fake ghost of Jin Quan. It's that Vertigo challenge. Ghosts aren't afraid of heights.
I ain't afraid of no heights.
So Gion, fake Jin Quan, fake ghost Jin Quan, gonna win immunity. Gion, this has been a really tremendous run for Gion in this game. Gion's going to be in the finale, Mike. That's amazing.
Yeah, especially after making such a big impact in the very second episode by playing an idol.
Yes.
It has been able to it recovered really well in its swap tribe, was able to be one of the first ones to really reach across tribal lines and make an alliance that has kept it safe all the way through to the finale here. I really commend Gion a good game.
Absolutely. All right, so Gion wins immunity. Gion cannot be voted out at this tribal council, but somebody is about to become juror number 7 back at Finda. That idol remains in Confidence Man's hand. Abandon has that leg advantage. Abandon and Exodus are going to have a lasting impact. Small fight, Mike.
I mean, I can imagine Exodus is pretty desperate right now.
Exodus is like, what are you doing, Anna Lucia? You are in me. You debuted here. You debuted here in this episode, and you're like playing with everybody else, and you're leaving me out.
Exactly. I feel abandoned. I should take your title.
I'm the one who's abandoned. You're the one who went on an Exodus.
Exactly. Now they've truly swapped places. But Josh, if you scroll down a little bit, looks like maybe another Finda tribe alliance has formed. Exodus is working with Abandoned.
It's a lie. It's a joke. The small fight was for show. Anna and Exodus. Abandoned and Exodus are tighter than they look, folks.
Wow.
They're tighter than they look.
What a whiplash now.
It's Brant Steele logic, baby, and the chat room is lit. Everyone is losing their mind. Here.
Such a depth gameplay from Abandon right now to stage a fight with Exodus while actually working behind the scenes with them.
Legendary. This is a Cops Are Us story. This is Anna Lulu's Are Us.
Gaps Are Us.
Gaps Are Us. All right, let's see what's going to happen at Tribal Council. Only 7 people left in the game. Last vote before the finale, Mike.
So I can imagine that, again, the Galas tribe, through the Looking Galas of Gion, Confidence Man, and Solitary, their votes are going to be pretty hefty here. If they bring over just one, whether it be Abandoned or Lighthouse, like they could vote out someone here. What are you laughing about?
The whole thing. The whole thing. I'm loud enough now at 10:15 p.m. on a Thursday as we're recording this that I've received a text from my wife that just says, "Hey." Which I think is essentially
is that like a checking in text?
I don't know if it's checking in or if it's, "Hey, shut the hell up. Could you just shut up? Could you be quiet? It's 10:15 p.m. On a Thursday night. And everyone's inside. Everyone's here. All right. Finda is at Tribal Council. It is 7 people, final 7. Somebody is about to become juror number 7.
Let's see if Confidence Man plays their idol. Only a few opportunities left to play an idol. After this, it's only 2 more. So we'll see if Confidence Man saves it for the end here.
Okay, let's find out. Confidence Man has that idol. Confidence Man, what you going to do? Let's find out. They're not going to play it. First vote. First vote goes to Abandon.
Is this the curse of the legacy advantage, Josh?
Oh my God. First vote goes to Abandoned. Second vote goes to Exodus. Ooh, they've sussed out this alliance.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
No, the fake alliance.
And Aluxidus is in trouble. All right. Third vote. Question mark.
Oh, okay.
Intriguing. That's 1 vote question mark, 1 vote Exodus, 1 vote Abandoned.
4 votes left.
4th vote. Abandoned. It's 2 votes Abandoned, 1 vote question mark, 1 vote Exodus?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. You can do the math. I don't know how to do it. All right, 5th vote. Let's find out. Question mark. It's 2 votes Abandoned.
2 votes question mark, 1 vote Exodus. 2 votes left.
6th vote. Abandoned.
Okay, so once again,
got to hope for a tie here.
Yeah, because then Abandoned safe and we go to Black Rocks.
Wow. Okay. I'll read the final vote. Abandoned.
Wow.
The tribe has spoken.
This leg advantage is cursed.
Wow, leg advantage is cursed. The numbers are bad if you have the legacy advantage. Abandoned. The tribe has spoken. But Exodus, Mike, is making it into the finale.
Oh, I'm so happy.
That's crazy. Question mark voted Abandoned. Abandoned voted question mark. Confidence Man voted Abandoned. Exodus voted question mark. Gion, the fake ghost of Jin Quan, voted for Abandoned. Lighthouse voted for Exodus, crazily. Solitary voted for Abandoned. Justice for Shannon. Abandoned is giving the legacy advantage to the Lighthouse.
Now, do you think Abandoned was trying to curse Lighthouse here by being like, I'm going to curse you. You've been doing so much right now. Yeah, so it looks like the Abandoned Exodus Alliance threw some votes onto question mark. They said, all right, we've been gunning for Solitary. Apparently that's not working. Let's just go for question mark here. But again, that Galas tribe decided to join up with question mark. Say Abandoned's making too much noise here. We need to take out Abandoned. Somehow that means Exodus still remains in the finale here, but it is a tough road. It and Lighthouse are really sort of on an uphill climb right now.
Yeah, no one really likes Abandoned back at Ponderosa. It's the dead body of Shannon getting no respect there, and nobody wants to hang out with him.
Except for the dead body of John Locke.
Yeah, maybe a little bit open-minded to hanging out.
I can understand where she's coming from.
Look at this list of finalists heading into the finale.
What a bunch of heavy hitters.
Heading into the finale, folks. We've got question mark is still in the game. Confidence
AKA the lingering shot of Michael Dawson.
Yeah, the slow pan into Michael Dawson is still in contention here to be the best ending in the history of Lost. It's been a very slow motion game for Michael, who has slowly been losing his mind. Is he going to be able to take this thing all the way home? Confidence Man, it shall now walk into the finale. Confidence Man with an idol, it should be noted. Confidence Man comes into the finale with an idol. Exodus, the only finale with the raft launch and what's in the hatch, some heavy hitting moments. Exodus looking like the Surrey Fields coming into this finale.
Yeah, but we also have Gion, which has its own sort of trippy finale as well when we think Jin is dead and we see the eponymous baby. Lighthouse really was a sleeper pick here. Going in, the least remarkable ending of perhaps the entire bunch. But here it is. played 2 idols, has a legacy advantage in their pocket.
Yeah. And then Solitary has just been like slowly driven mad by the Whispers. But I think that there's a little bit of a lack of respect for Solitary. They're like, oh, the Whispers are just telling you what to do.
Exactly. I think of that triumvirate of Confidence Man, Gion, and Solitary. Solitary is by far like the gamma right now, the alpha, or even the beta.
All right, so one of these episodes has the single best ending in all of Lost. We are trying to find out who it is as we are celebrating the 10-year anniversary of the end, the series finale of Lost, which aired 10 years ago, May 23rd. 2010 is when it aired. The end has been all but forgotten in
the end was voted out back in February
in all of this. So yeah, it's been a long time since we've regarded the end, but it's very exciting times as we rush to the finish. Let's waste no further time. Let's get into this. Lighthouse has that legacy advantage. Confidence Man has the find idol, and nothing else is out there. What are the alliances looking like? A pretty strong loyalty between Confidence Man, and Lighthouse, and a pretty strong loyalty between Confidence Man, Gion, and Solitary. It's really Exodus is on the outs, and Confidence Man is like right there in the hub.
Yeah, I think Confidence Man, again, is set to at least make the final 5. It has, an alliance of 3. So it has 2 final 3s right now and an idol in its pocket. I think this is sort of like, I know I keep making Sarah Lucina comparisons, but I think this was the most well-positioned episode going into the finale.
Okay, let's find out what's going to happen at the immunity challenge. Exodus
this is a
really
must-win for Exodus.
I agree. If Exodus doesn't win here, Exodus is getting voted out of the game. Gion wins immunity.
Second in a row.
Wins immunity, wins a spaghetti and chicken parm feast. Listen to this. Chicken parm, spaghetti with meatballs, garlic bread, and key lime pie. I don't think that key lime pie fits into that equation at all.
I think you just wash it down with some sweet milk, though, and it all tastes good.
So gross. What a gross roundup. And I love key lime pie. I love all of that, but I just feel like you can't wash that down with key lime pie.
Brendan Fitzpatrick brings up a great point in the chat. The baby can't eat all that.
Yeah. And a squid then Kurt notes, talk about sweet milk. That sweet milk is a key lime pie.
But it looks like Gion's going to bring its Galas brethren here in Solitary and Confidence Man. They're going to nail in their final 3 alliance here.
What's happening, man? What's happening? 3 endings of Lost episodes are eating chicken parm, spaghetti with meatballs, garlic bread, and key lime pie on a Brant Steele podcast right now.
And one of them is a baby.
Yabba dabba do. All right, let's go back to the beach. Confidence Man, everyone's impressed with Confidence Man, and they should be. Confidence Man is really conning the whole game.
Absolutely.
They're like convincing everybody into thinking like this stupid song and montage is worthy of the win. Everyone's like,
low-key Confidence Man playing like the best late game here. Exodus and Solitary find something in common. It might not be enough considering the times that Exodus has joined up with Solitary. But wait, Josh, scroll down here.
Lighthouse is ditching the alliance with Confidence Man and question mark.
Now,
Lighthouse maybe a little late might be like Confidence Man has taken a late-breaking run at this thing, and maybe wants to attract some votes its way, considering it has the legacy advantage.
Right, and we can also imagine that Lighthouse, we've seen this before where Lighthouse gets a little bit of power and decides to separate itself from its other people, definitely putting himself out on a limb there, much like Claire in season 6 was not accustomed to sort of ingratiating herself back into society. But yeah, I think this is Exodus's time, unfortunately. I think it's time for it to go here.
All right, let's see what's going to happen. We are going to go to Tribal Council. Let's go to Tribal. Lighthouse has that legacy advantage. Gotta imagine Lighthouse is going to use the legacy advantage.
And the question is, though, much like in the real Game Changers, is Lighthouse playing the legacy advantage going to prompt Confidence Man to play the idol?
Correct. That is the question. And of course, Gion cannot be voted for. Gion has immunity and garlic breath and key lime pie breath simultaneous. All right. Confidence Man, do you want to use your idol? Lighthouse has the legacy advantage.
Let's see what happens. Lighthouse is going to lose the legacy advantage.
Yeah, use the legacy advantage on itself. Any votes cast against Lighthouse will not count. Is Confidence Man just going to sit there with ice water in its veins?
I mean, it has one more vote to use an idol, so I think it makes sense if it feels like it's not in trouble.
Lighthouse gets the first vote. Does not count. Confidence Man sitting on that idol, heading into the final 5. That's a confident man. Second vote, Lighthouse. Does not.
Oh, interesting. I thought Exodus would be the lone vote against Lighthouse, but apparently got another person.
Squirrel Baby Mama Lighthouse continues on. Third vote, Lighthouse does not count.
Wow.
Fourth vote, Lighthouse. It doesn't count.
Oh my God, this is going to be a blindside on Lighthouse.
Fifth vote, Exodus.
Oh. Yeah.
Exodus.
Oh, of all the ways to go out.
As spoken. Exodus in that Surrey Field spot as predicted.
It's the legacy advantage screwed over Exodus there. Otherwise, Lighthouse would have been gone.
It is pretty impressive that Exodus made it this far. A real front runner to be voted for early on in this game. It's Exodus. It's the down the hatch moment. That's down the hatch. It's what the podcast is named after. And it's gone, and it's because the question mark voted for Exodus, and Lighthouse voted for Exodus, and Lighthouse saved itself. But credit to Exodus. Exodus would have sneaked by if not for the fact that the legacy advantage was used correctly.
Yeah, and it looks like, because it did seem like that Galas 3 wanted to work with Exodus. Exodus was able to convince it at the last second of like, no, Lighthouse is dangerous. Look what it's been able to do with no reputation.
Yeah.
We are going to turn things on Lighthouse. Wow. And it just so happens that Lighthouse got that legacy advantage and so was able to rally question mark to its side to get out Exodus. At the reunion, Exodus comes out. Richard Alpert interviews it like rapturous applause, right? For Exodus.
Absolutely. And like everyone knows that that's probably the final time Exodus is going to play the game. And of course, as the chat room notes, this isn't exactly a Cerise situation. It's not an advantage get-in. This was good play on Lighthouse's part. And great play on Exodus's part too, rallying that vote, being on the right side of the vote at least. I think Exodus can walk out with its head held very, very high. I think the good news for us as we're looking at these finalists of Question Mark, Confidence Man, Gion, Lighthouse, and Solitary, it's only deserving players that are still in contention to be the best ending in the history of Lost. Just the worthiest of the worthy are still...
It's freaking Lighthouse, I swear to God.
It's Question Mark, it's Confidence Man, it's Gion, star of the season, Lighthouse, another star of the season, and Solitary. So really, Solitary is the GOAT. Solitary is the GOAT this season.
And I think we saw a lot of GOATs in Iraq in that flashback too, right? But it's an interesting situation though, because we have a trio here in Confidence Man, Gion, and Solitary, but Lighthouse and Question Mark are sort of working together here. If they sway over one more person, they could pull the game. They could completely turn the game on its head right here, but Confidence Man does have an idol, and that could also influence things.
Okay, so let's go to see what's happening back at the beach. The idol is still in Confidence Man's hands. Confidence Man's going to make it to the Final Four. Confidence Man and Question Mark, they're still pretty loyal together. Gion, Confidence Man, and Solitary are all still tight. So Confidence Man is hooked up. Confidence Man has an idol and strong alliances. So Confidence Man is doing really, really well. Let's see who's going to win immunity here. Final 5 immunity, Mike. And it's Question Mark. And everyone's like kind of pissed about this. Everyone's a little salty. Like, oh man, Question Mark's going to make it into the Final Four.
Lighthouse is screwed at this point, especially after they were supposed to go last time, if we're not for the legacy advantage.
Yeah. Weed Brain in the chat wonders, is the winner of this going to become a member of the Tattoo Brant Steele, Mike?
I feel like this is not Survivor related enough to make it into there.
Is this not Survivor? It's gonna have won its way through a Brant Steele Survivor. Is that not Survivor enough?
I mean, listen, I don't know how many I'm allowed to sign off on, so I think that it can certainly be in contention, but with the people that it ultimately resides with, I'm not sure how much it will compare. I think it'll certainly be part of the crop, but I don't know if it'll make the final cut, if you get what I'm saying.
I do. So Confidence Man has that idol. Gion and Solitary are bonding really tightly right now. Lighthouse is having a major meltdown, probably because Lighthouse knows, like,
it sees. It's seeing the end. Not the end, because the end came a long time ago.
A long time ago. But Lighthouse...
Oh, wait. Scroll down here, Josh.
Ooh.
Confidence Man has left the alliance.
Overheard Gion and Solitary saying, we can't let Confidence Man walk alone into the finale. If Confidence Man walks into the final tribal council, it will walk with all the votes. The opposite.
So this is interesting though, because if Confidence Man just left the alliance and it has an idol, it could do some damage. If it wants to break up Gion and Solitary, this could be a chance to do so.
Confidence Man is playing to win. He's a confident guy, sweetheart. So this is what's going to go down. Confidence Man is leaving the alliance. Confidence Man has an idol. Confidence Man, you have to feel confident that confident man is going to be playing that idol on itself, moving into this final 5 vote. Question Mark is immune. Confidence Man, you got to think is going to be immune, and then it's Gion, Lighthouse, and Solitary. Solitary is freaking out. Lighthouse is freaking out. Lighthouse thinks it's in trouble. But is this departure from the alliance with Gion and Solitary? Is Confidence Man maybe going to flip and play with Question Mark and Lighthouse? Let's find out. Let's see. All right. Confidence Man has that idol.
Confidence Man's going to play the idol.
He's going to use the idol. Any votes against Confidence Man will not count. I'll read the votes. First vote, Lighthouse.
Lighthouse.
Second vote, Lighthouse.
That makes sense.
Third vote, Ji-Yeon.
Ooh.
Fake Jin Quan Ghost. Fourth vote, Ji-Yeon.
Oh my God, could Confidence Man do this? Did Confidence Man just flip?
The Quan hands in the jury, the 4-person of the jury, the 4 hands person of the jury with the Jarrah of Saeed Gu. They're freaking out right now as they are about to watch potentially the fall of a Quan. The 5th and final vote, and the 9th member of our jury, Ji-Yeon. Wow.
Confidence Man.
Wow.
Holy crap.
Wow.
Confidence Man just flipped on its alliance that it had since the Swap Tribe. Got a sense of like, these two do not want me in the final 3. I need to make a move right now. Joined up with Lighthouse and Question Mark to get rid of Gion right now.
Wow. That was a powerful move. Gion was playing a great game. Gion played a great game, but what Confidence Man just did was next level.
That was a
great play. That was a great play. Great play. Question Mark voted for Gion. Confidence Man voted for Gion. So did Lighthouse.
And you know, Confidence Man was told Lighthouse, like, did you vote for the way I told you to vote?
Wow. Yes. Confidence Man is building a killer resume here in the final stretch as we are going to the final 4, Mike. We are up to the final 4 here in Survivor, the end of Extinction.
We should also mention that this was probably the only climactic ending that was left that was voted out now.
Yeah, so look at what we've got here. We've got Question Mark, which is a very slow pan into Michael Dawson. We've got Confidence Man, which is Saeed Jarrah walking away as "You shall not walk alone," sings in the background. There's Lighthouse, in which the audience who has already known that John Locke is the smoke monster and a bad guy is reintroduced to John Locke as the smoke monster and a bad guy. And there's Solitary, where Saeed Jarrah is just looking around being like, whispers. Those are the 4 endings. One of them is the best ending in the history of Lost, as determined by this very scientific Survivor simulation. Wow. What a time to be alive.
And this is, so this is, again, no fire making, no fire plus water making at this point. So this is going to be a straight up vote. So there's still can be interesting things like, could Confidence Man possibly, Confidence Man is still in alliance with Question Mark. Could they vote against Lighthouse?
Yeah.
Could it go back to Solitary and force a tie? There's still a lot of stuff that can happen here.
All right, so Confidence Man and Question Mark are tight, and that's smart on Confidence Man. That Confidence Man knows that Question Mark is I don't think a bit of a question mark for the jury at all. I think Question Mark has been very rude to people on the way out. Question Mark is about as clear a third, like playing a great third place game. The Solitary is as well, because it's been pretty alone and just not like really making a lot of friends. Let's see. This Confidence Man needs to win immunity. And I think if Confidence Man wins immunity, there's a strong argument that Confidence Man is going to win the whole game. Let's see. This is going to be the most important immunity challenge of the season. Okay, let's find out. Pins and needles, Mike. Pins and needles and sweet milk. Let's find out who wins the final immunity of the season. It's Confidence Man.
Wow.
Confidence Man.
Confidence Man right when they needed immunity. It most.
Wow. Just confidently waltzes into final fortitude, which has no description here, and I don't remember what that challenge was in Game Changers. Something obstacle-ish, I would guess.
I can imagine. I mean, this is one of the ones that Culpepper won, so I can assume it was obstacle-ish.
Wow. Confidence Man is going to be in the final 3, and you gotta figure Confidence Man leading the pack to take it
I don't know.
all down.
Depends on who they're sitting next to. Everyone has a story here. Arguably, Lighthouse and Question Mark the most. So I think much like in the real Game Changers, the game still is not over yet. It's going to really depend on who they choose to vote out here at the Final Four.
All right, well, we're about to find out what's going on. There's no idol. Lighthouse, everyone's impressed with Lighthouse. Maybe Lighthouse is like, it's fine. I played a great game. I'm really happy with my game. I shouldn't have been here in the first place, and look what I've done.
But it looks like she may be granted a reprieve here, Josh, because Question Mark has left its alliance with Confidence Man, but it looks like at the last second, another alliance is forming.
Yeah. Question Mark has left.
Question Mark in solitary.
Yeah. So are they going to vote Lighthouse? Are they going to try and get are Lighthouse and Confidence Man going to vote together for one of Question Mark in solitary? And will Question Mark in solitary vote for Lighthouse? Are we going to have to go to fire? After all, Mike.
I can imagine it. I could also see a situation where Question Mark and Solitaire are both like, okay, listen, one of Lighthouse or Confidence Man is going to win this. Let's try to make the final three together. Like the goats need to come together here. And so we're either looking at obviously a 2-2 or a 3-1 vote. It just depends on if these two were able to bring someone over or if they're just going to outright force a tie.
Beach and Brunette in the chat room says, thinking about the actual episodes, do any of these really have the best ending of all time, of all the episodes? Of course. Whichever one of these wins has scientifically objectively has the best ending.
Yeah, the results for themselves.
In the history of Lost. All right, let's find out how this is going to go, Mike. This is very exciting. Is this going to be a 3-1 or a 2-2? We will find out. The 2-2 is gone because Abandoned has been removed, and so the ballet classes are over. All right. Let's find out. No one has any items, so it's a straight vote. No one can vote for Confidence Man. Confidence Man is immune. Who is going between Question Mark, Lighthouse, and Solitary? I will read the votes. First vote goes to Solitary.
Okay.
Second vote goes to Question Mark.
Oh, interesting. Could this be a 2-1-1?
The third vote goes to Lighthouse.
What did
wow. Okay, so somebody's going home. Someone's about to go home. Someone's getting voted out.
Someone's getting voted out. Wow, they actually got a 2-1-1 going on here at the Final Four.
Wow, unbelievable. Is that unprecedented or has that happened?
That has not happened in U.S. Survivor. It has happened in International Survivor before, but not in U.S. Survivor.
Is this U.S. or international?
This is U.S.
You would say it's U.S. Okay. Third vote's a Lighthouse. So Lighthouse, Question Mark, or Solitary.
I gotta think it's Lighthouse here. If Question Mark and Solitary stuck together.
Let's find out. The final person voted out, joining the jury bench, is Lighthouse. The tribe has spoken.
Wow, good on Solitary and Question Mark. They were able to convince Lighthouse and Confidence Man to not vote together to make sure it was a 2-1-1. They took advantage of that plurality, and I think they just earned their spot in the final three. With that move.
Yeah, but I think Confidence Man, let's not turn our nose at Confidence Man. And Confidence Man in a show of loyalty to Lighthouse just earned Lighthouse's jury vote.
Perhaps, but Lighthouse has been flighty this entire time. Who the hell knows how Lighthouse is going to vote?
All right, Mike, you are the master of Brant Steele. If I click proceed, if we proceed on, are we going to spoil anything?
No.
Okay, so we're going to proceed. We're going to look at Question Mark, Confidence Man, or Solitary. People have one of them has the best ending in all of Lost.
Listen, as great of a run as Lighthouse had, I'm very glad because we don't have to say that Lighthouse has the best ending of any Lost episode because it was by far the worst ending here.
Okay, so let's talk this through a little bit, Mike. So Solitary probably has the actual best ending of any of these episodes of Lost in the final three, considering it's the introduction of the Whisperers, and you're like, what the hell does all that mean?
Though I would also say that Confidence Man has like a strong ending. It's not a big Lost ending, but it still has that musical montage. There's a lot of character moments involved in it. Question Mark is by far the weakest of these three at this point.
I don't know. I mean, I think like you're pushing in on Michael. You're like, why did Michael do what he just did? It's the promise that we're going to find out in the next episode. So I think that there's a case to be made. This is the jury. Abandoned, Exodus, Geon, Lighthouse, Lockdown, The Brig, The Candidate, The Lie, There's No Place Like Home, Through the Looking Glass. If I hit proceed now, Mike, what happens?
No, you'll get a thing of like the three finalists,
Yeah, all right. Let's find out what's going on here. All right. The votes are going to be cast. How do you think this final tribal council went? Contentious? Are people mad?
I could see people being mad at Question Mark. I could see people really commending Confidence Man, though, being like very pissed, and Confidence Man being like, "I want you to hate me."
Yeah.
Like that was the point. That's so you wouldn't regard me as a threat. I wanted you to hate me. Whereas Solitary is sort of just like a little all over the place. It keeps meandering into stories, and just sort of like talking. There's that point when it raises a gun to the jury, only to find out that the firing pin was taken out. So it really just sort of gets like neutered in that moment.
Yeah. Oh my God. All right. It's time to find out.
Yes, and this one will count the votes, much like a live vote reveal, too.
Okay, all right. So we're going to tally the votes. Richard Alpert is going to go collect the urn filled with
He's going to fly in the Ajira plane back to the United States for the reading of the votes.
Okay, so question mark, Confidence Man, and Solitary. One of them is the winner of Survivor, the end of Extinction. It's time to reveal. First vote goes to Solitary. That's one vote for Solitary. The second vote goes to Confidence Man. It's one vote for Solitary to win, one vote for Confidence Man to win. It's really a great showing for Saeed here, Mike.
Seriously.
Either way. It's one vote for question mark. It's one vote question mark, one vote Confidence Man, one vote Solitary. No one is escaping here with 0 votes. Question mark. It's 2 votes for question mark. 1 vote for Confidence Man, 1 vote for Solitary. Solitary. That's 2 votes for Solitary, 2 votes for question mark, 1 vote for Confidence Man. Solitary. That's 3 votes for Solitary, 2 votes for question mark, 1 vote for Confidence Man. Confidence Man is
Confidence Man, for all that work it put in. I think it might have really not done well for some of its moves in the latter couple of rounds.
Is red-eyed right now. Really upset. Thinks that the game is flawed. The game needs to be changed. All right. 3 votes Solitary, 2 votes question mark, 1 vote
Confidence Man, and 4 votes left.
It's another vote for Confidence Man. It's 3 Solitary, 2 Confidence Man, 2 question mark. Another vote for Confidence Man. That's 3 votes for Confidence Man, 3 votes for Solitary, 2 votes for question mark. Solitary.
4 votes Solitary. 3 votes Confidence Man, 2 votes. So this is the situation, and we faced it many times before. Wow. If the last vote is for Confidence Man, we are tied 4 votes Confidence Man, 4 votes Solitary, and that means that the third place finisher, question mark, will be the determiner of who wins this season.
Let's find out.
If the vote is for Solitary, then Solitary wins, obviously 5-3 to 2. If question mark gets the vote, Solitary still wins 4-3 to 3.
Okay. The 10th vote goes to Confidence Man.
Wow, we have a freaking tie.
We have a tie.
It comes down to question mark.
Wow. Question mark is the third place finisher, and question mark, a huge piece of crap, has been really rotten all game, is going to get the deciding vote. And question mark and Solitary were really tight.
Yeah, they had a last minute relationship right there.
Confidence Man, burning his alliance with question mark, may prove to be a very bad choice. I think if question mark chooses Solitary to win, there's going to be like a faction of Survivor Lost internet that's going to be like, yes, Queen, Solitary, yes. Mm-hmm. But the truth is, like, we all know Confidence Man played the better game. Let's not kid ourselves. Let's find out what is going to happen here. It's a tie. The third place castaway is going to cast the deciding vote for the winner. You got a prediction, Mike?
I think it's got to be Solitary. I think that last day was all that Solitary needed to just push that last little inch over the line.
The winner of Survivor, the end of Extinction, the champion with the greatest ending in the history of all of Lost is Solitary. Solitary is the winner. Yo, hey, ho, hey, ho, hey, ho, hey, ha, hey, hey, ho, hey, ho, hey, ha.
Solitary runs out, hugs Nadia, hugs Danielle Rousseau. Hugs. They say, we're going to play some rounds of island golf.
Wow. Solitary has the best ending in the history of Lost. It is known. A Saeed flashback. No coincidence, Mike. This is Saeed Jarrah, who has been the flashback, who's been the MVP of Down the Hatch all the way through. A Saeed episode, the first Saeed episode ever winning this. Are we surprised? Let's read these votes. Let's see who voted for who. Abandoned voted for Confidence Man. Exodus voted for Confidence Man. Gion voted for Solitary. Amazing. Lighthouse voted for question mark. Even
of course,
after
true to Lighthouse's nature, complete wild card. Only one of two votes for question mark.
Yeah. Lockdown voted Solitary. The Brig voted for question mark. That's a surprise. The candidate. I forgot about the candidate. The candidate voted for Solitary. It makes sense. This is where Saeed blew up. Saeed wanted justice for himself. So
himself.
The four hands of the Kwans dipped their fingers in the goo Jarrah of Saeed.
Oh, they didn't even use a pen to write?
No, they used their fingers.
They used the Saeed goo.
Yeah, and that was the final vote.
I can imagine Richard Alpert pulling that like, oh, God.
Right before question mark. The Lie voted for Confidence
Makes
Man.
sense.
There's no place like home. Who dragged that body to vote for Confidence Man? Through the Looking Glass voted for Solitary.
And Jack's face representing a lot of our chat right now, angry that Confidence Man. But here's the thing. Like, I feel like we were good either way. Confidence Man played a really fun Survivor game, but I think Solitary was the best ending out of that final three. So, like, I could not quibble too much with the results.
One of the first times that Brant Steele gets it right, Exodus wins the fan favorite award. I think coming into the finale is in that number 6 spot. That makes a ton of sense to see Exodus win the fan favorite award. Mike, oh my God. Solitary, the winner.
The solitary winner of this season. It was there right in our faces the entire time.
Confidence Man walks alone out of the tribal council. Very, very, very sad. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Are there any stats that are worth looking
keep going.
Yeah,
you can see challenge wins. Solitary won 4 challenges. You could see the immunity wins were spread super thin. Gion, the only episode to win more than one immunity challenge.
Lockdown obliterated with votes.
Got 15 votes over the course of the number of episodes, but actually question mark was only 1 vote behind.
Yeah, and that
which makes sense as to how irascible it was. The pilot
evacuated.
A Confidence Man got 0 votes throughout the entire game.
Way through. I really think Confidence Man. I would like to think of myself as the type of juror that would have voted for Confidence Man. I think that Confidence Man just played very confidently, and I really appreciated steadiness of the game throughout the later stages of the game. It should be noted that the pilot was not at the reunion. We don't know what the status is.
Not entirely sure. And Richard Alpert seemed to be a bit vague about it when asked. It was not really acknowledged. So we're not entirely sure. And Idols, it was pretty much shared between Confidence Man, Lighthouse, and that initial find by Gian. But that's the ball game, Josh. That's where we are after nearly 4 hours. Wow. Solitary, your winner of Survivor, the end of Extinction. And I am loopy and full of sweet milk, and I cannot be happier.
I mean, I'm pretty happy for Solitary. I think it's an underrated episode for certain.
Yeah, I remember I gave it a 4.1. I think it's a near perfect episode of Lost, so I cannot complain with it winning something.
I think it is a very, very good episode of Lost. I think that it was a crazy experience. It was a crazy time here on the Brant Steele. Where does this stand as one of the craziest Brant Steels in the history of the Brant Steele?
It's always tough to now outdo the Survivor Winners at Peace Brant Steele that I did with Rob Cesternino, which had like a 4-to-1-to-1-to-1-to-1-to-1-to-1 merge vote. But this was a pretty crazy one. We had a rock draw. I think having what Confidence Man was able to do with these last few episodes was like pretty damn crazy. So look, I think we were expecting chaos to ensue, and this was a pretty chaotic thing. I think swapping around so much was super confusing. I think confused the players as well. So a lot of these were super scattered votes. Like I never felt like anything was terribly predictable. Even when Exodus got voted out, it got legacy advantaged out. And that just shows the fun that Brand Steel can bring. I hope you all had fun.
Oh, God.
I certainly did, especially as the results got more and more questionable.
Listen, we're still 47 people still watching live as we are doing.
Thank you. You all are the best 47 people in the world.
You're incredible. We had such a fun time. This was the dumbest thing. It was so stupid. And I think the reason we wanted to do it, like, this is a very uniquely thing. Like, it was a very uniquely us thing to do to mark the fact that this is a very exciting time to be a Lost fan. We're 10 years on from the end of the finale, which I hope you guys go and watch it. We're going to try and watch it here on this Twitch. I don't know if I'm allowed to. So maybe we won't. We'll see. I don't want to get shut down here on Twitch. So if anybody knows the Twitch rules better than I do, is that going to be dicey to watch the end on here? Because if so, we're not going to do it. But if it is kosher, we will try to do that 8:15 in the morning on Saturday. If not, if you're not watching it with me, I hope that you're watching it on your own. It's an episode that is you can watch that on its own anytime, and I think that you'll just feel all the feels.
Yeah, and listen, if we don't talk about it on Saturday, we're going to be talking about it a year and a half from now.
100%. This is my favorite thing to do, this podcast, Mike. I'm so glad that we've been doing it for the very first live Lost Down the Hatch episode.
Yeah, not only first live Down the Hatch episode, but the first time we ever done a live Brand Steel. Wow. And it was a lot of fun. We might be able to convince Rob to do them live from now on. I'm not entirely sure, but it's great to have a crowd to follow along with. And speaking of crowd in the audience, let me also welcome a fantastic happy birthday to the great Brendan Fitzpatrick.
Absolutely.
For people who do not know, we talk a lot about Ben Behind the Curtain, but Brendan Fitzpatrick is also a fundamental cog in the machine that is Down the Hatch. He runs the post-show recaps Twitter feed and social media feeds, and he's also a huge part in compiling feedback and the ratings that you guys submit to make sure all the numbers work out in a perfect way.
He's also my eternal Words with Friends adversary. So there are days that go by, maybe not so much anymore because we are on lockdown, but there used to be days where I would talk to Brendan more than I would talk to my own wife on Words with Friends.
She texts you, hey.
Yeah, so much love to Brendan. Happy birthday to Brendan. Happy belated birthday. You should wish him a happy belated birthday if you're listening to this in the podcast feed. It was 2 days earlier. The great Brendan Fitzpatrick, who runs the @PostShow Recaps Twitter account. All right, Mike, so podcast-wise on the Down the Hatch feed, we're coming up to Dave next. I think it's only fitting that we get to a fairly ridiculous episode of Lost after doing the most ridiculous,
really the most like one of the most Brand Steel episodes of Lost, right? Of like, okay, Hurley sees a guy from his past that may not be real, and Libby's there.
Yeah.
And also they find the pallet drop. So like, this is one of the more scattershot episodes of Lost and off of one of the most scattershot podcasts we have ever done. I think it makes a lot of sense. I feel like this was pushing the limits even for Brand Steels. Do you feel like this was still like, are we within the limits, or do we think like this is where we draw the line in terms of going abstract when it comes to Brand Steel?
No, I think you can push it further.
Okay. I will take that bet.
And I think this was good proof of concept that the tattoo Brand Steel is going to be lit. And the stakes there will be very real. So
exactly.
That's very exciting. All right. So get your feedback in for the Dave podcast, Down the Hatch at postshowrecaps.com. We are going to be recording that a week from now, a little less than a week from now. We will be back to our normal recording spot on Thursday. So May 28th in the morning is when we need that feedback by at the very, very, very latest. That podcast, the Dave podcast, will drop May 29th. We're going to close this thing out. Let's listen in to the very best ending in the history of Lost. We are going to hear the sweet whispery sounds of Solitary to close out this ridiculous podcast. Happy 10-year anniversary of the end, everybody. Take care. Bye. Can you hear it? Oh, we can hear it. Best ending ever.
Best ending ever.
It's the best. How can you beat that? You literally can't. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.